Hello and welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews podcast number 69.
96, sorry, wrong way round. 69!
dudes! We're going to catch up on the recent TV shows and films we've watched before going over the film news. In the second part of the podcast, Ian and I are going to be discussing our Halloween review picks for this year. And of course, in the third part, we will be answering your questions. Ian, how are you doing today?
Not being too bad, man. I finally got to the podcast. It's been a busy fucking couple of months. You know, like we got like we said, we got the Halloween series up and running, so I realised it was October.
Right.
You know, and then I realised I had your birthday and the wife's birthday and my son's birthday and my stepson's birthday coming up before I even get to my birthday. And it was just coming off the back of summer and just one like the weeks just kind of mold back in, you know. I'm
especially because you also kind of exist in like school term times as well.
Yeah.
And it's always that long break from the summer holiday back to then the Halloween, like end of October, autumn.
And it's just I can always measure it really well. You've got like 6 or 7 weeks of term. And because obviously I work 7 days and I work in 2 kind of educational institutions, whatever. So I get to see people start off like really energetic the first 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. They're miserable as fuck, but they're happy to get back in because they've got to get the pay in to be able to pay their bills. Then by about the 5th or 6th week, they're ready to kill everybody. You know, you got to imagine people are spending
They've already got their resignations in their back pocket.
People are spending more time with work people in schools and universities than they do their own families.
Oh, yeah.
So they're treating their work colleagues like their brothers and their sisters. They love some and they fucking hate some others. You know? Then by about the 7th or 8th week, you best get ready to open those doors because all of the students are at loggerheads and are ready to kill each other. The teachers are just holding it together and they're dragging and kicking and screaming. And there's me. I've just spent the last 8 weeks cleaning up piss and shit and vomit and emptying bins and doing all this. And people are still like, why are you so happy? And I'm like, because I have to be! Because I have to be! But no, it's fine. Back to work, you know, getting paid. I sorted out, like I said, sorted out your birthday, sorted out Andy's birthday, sorted out Linda's birthday, sorted out Dylan's. Dylan's had his ears pierced.
Oh, wow.
I know. That's new.
The rebel.
Yeah, like, he's like I said, he's 15 now. Like, I've kept something alive for 15 years. It's kind of...
never would have guessed, Ian.
I know. Isn't it amazing? Like, if we'd said 15 years ago, like, oh, he's going to have a teenage boy, he would have been like, yeah, whatever, he can't even tie his shoelaces. And now I'm like, oh, kept him alive. I'll keep it brief. Things I've watched. I watched John Wick 4.
And you don't look impressed.
It was really long-winded.
I agree.
It was pretty to look at.
Yes.
And Keanu Reeves is an amazing actor. The choreography for the fight sequences were really well done.
I agree, yeah.
Just the style, the music, the thematics, all that kind of stuff. It was brilliant. I just don't understand how John Wick gets around the world.
Right, with so many assassins with a bounty on his head.
Yeah, with the fact that he's just able to go from here, there, and everywhere and meet up with all the right people that he has to get all the right stuff, to get him to the next place.
And everyone who owes him favours around the world.
Everybody knows who John Wick is and owes him favours and just loves him because he's such a great guy. And it's just such a horrible thing that happened to him that now he has to come back and kill everybody. Like that arc, the Triumph sequence in France with the roundabout with all the cars.
I hated the CGI cars.
Like, there wasn't a police car in sight and he must have killed like 15 people.
Well, the CGI team would have to, like, not just copy-paste the same car over and over again and do something different. And
it just, it was so crazy. The stair sequence at the end, like he fought his way all the way to the top of it.
It just reminded me of Kung Pao. Like, come on, film.
Just to get knocked all the way back down again, to work his way all the way back up. Yeah, okay, I like Donnie Yen.
Yes,
I always like Donnie Yen, but at the same time, I'm kind of getting a bit bored of blind Donnie Yen.
Sure.
Blind Donnie Yen walking around telling everybody else about how good he is, better than them because he's fucking blind and can kill everybody with like one hit.
And he can.
But he's got like family issues. He's always got family issues.
You need some drama.
Yeah. Like, I'd like to see Donnie Yen in a comedy.
Sure.
Maybe
he's done one.
Maybe John Wick 4 was a comedy. It was pretty funny in some spots.
It was. The rolling down the stairs.
The rolling down the stairs. Game wise, I bought Killing Time Remastered.
Okay.
For the Switch, which is a late, or I suppose it was early 1996, I think it was. It came out.
So retro.
It was a Doom clone that
Yeah.
Night Dive had just remastered. Shout out to Night Dive. I'm still waiting
hell
for
yeah, waiting for the thing. Yeah.
It's a first-person shooter where you're a guy who's gone to this island to investigate the disappearance of some woman and her party guests at her mansion. And it turns out that this lady had bought this ancient Egyptian clock and then had her essence from her body put into different body parts. And the body parts have been split up around the island. And now the island is covered in this time bubble thing, keeping all of them as ghosts forever.
Okay. And
as a first-person shooter, you've got to go around the island and find the different body parts to keep them together to then defeat her to free yourself. It was cool. It's fun. It's really fucked up in some places.
I'm sold.
Yeah, like you go into the match. So you start off on the outside of the mansion, and you can't get in without an RSVP invite.
Okay.
So you've got to go to like this other section of the island to find the invite to get yourself into the mansion. Then when you get in there and you're looking for your bedroom, you come across these clowns. Now, up to this point, you've been fighting like zombie gangsters and zombie kind of redneck hunters, and there were these two-headed poodle dogs and some weird undead ducks at one point. Yeah. And then you get these clowns, and these clowns keep running up to you shouting, "Mr. Tickles! Mr. Tickles!" And they put their arms up in front of them. And
doing
they
the
tickle
tickling
you,
motion.
and they grab you, and it stuns you. So you get enough of them in the room, and they all just start tickling you. But you got like 5 or 6 of them going, "Mr. Tickles!"
Oh God! I can only imagine the cacophony of it.
Man, I was happily blasting them with my shotgun, like, "Get away from me, you fucking clowns!" Then I met up with the housekeepers, which are these large ladies who punch you in the face, going, "Housekeeping." So there's like 20 of them all coming out like housekeeping and trying to punch you in the face. You're like, "Fucking kill him!" And then I got into the basement of the mansion and I came across these old ladies that threw Molotovs at me. So you remember in Doom 1, the original one, or maybe even Doom 3, the first time you saw Hell Knight come out of the teleporter and you're like, "What the fuck's that?" And you start blasting it.
Yeah.
Same feeling I got when I saw these old ladies come around the corner.
The sort of demons from hell.
They were, yeah, because they were kind of greyish, so they were like ghosts.
Okay.
But then they just started lobbing these Molotovs, and so the Molotovs can do a lot of damage and drop fire effects on the floor.
Right.
So enough of them, and you're surrounded by fire, and your health goes down really quickly. So I'm like, fucking die! Just, yeah.
Reliable shotgun. What was this game called again?
Killing Time Remastered.
Killing Time Remastered. It sounds like one I need to look up myself.
Yeah. Anything else, really? I'll probably remember something, but you go.
Sure. Well, I'd just like to say I had my 41st birthday this month.
41st.
Just wanted to say a huge thank you to all of my friends, family, and supporters of the channel for such a wonderful, wonderful day. There were so many gifts and messages and donations and love and support that I felt truly uplifted and special on that day.
Nice.
And it was really, really nice. I got to spend time with friends and family, and I got to chill and watch The Big Lebowski and play some Silent Hill 2 remake. So it was a really, really kick-ass day and a really great week. And obviously on top of that, I had some time off of work as well from streaming, essentially. And so it was a nice kind of unwind, detox, and immerse myself into some films and shows without interruption or without thinking I need an early night because I'm doing this tomorrow, etc. So it was really, really good time. So yeah, thank you again, everyone. That being said, one of the things I spent a lot of time playing is that Silent Hill 2 remake. And I have to say it exceeded all of my expectations. Now, I've said I've been a defender of Bloober Team for a long time. I've liked like almost every one of their offerings. The only one I've not played of their catalog now is The Medium.
Right.
And it's one that it's on my back burner to go to, but that was the one where everyone was like, "Oh, Team Bloober should do Silent Hill now." And a lot of Silent Hill fans went, "Fuck no, Bloober horribly mishandled the psychological horror, and they misunderstood the mental health that the character was going through, and they kind of butchered it.
Right,
So like
okay.
they don't understand the trauma, all these characters, and it's bad writing. And I'm like, I haven't played it. I hear the criticisms, and I understand where they're coming from. Because Silent Hill has a lot of those themes to explore. But Bloober, they announced Silent Hill 2 was coming almost 2 years ago now. And a lot of people were very hesitant, of course, because Silent Hill as a franchise been dormant for quite some time. Plus, we also had a Silent Hill game that came out that was like web-based, that was heavily monetized, like a choose-your-own kind of reaction as the story went on. And I zoned out of it because it was so badly written, so badly animated, and it was heavily monetized. And I was like, this just looks bad all round. But I honestly am blown away by Silent Hill 2 Remake. It is, I said at least, even if the game is bad, being able to walk around the town of Silent Hill with it looking as good as it does on modern graphics, amazing. The fact that Akira Yamaoka could come back to do the music, I'm sorry if I mispronounce his name, I always do. I know how it's spelled in my head, but I always say it wrong. But even if we just get his music score, new renditions of familiar songs, amazing. And that we got, plus we also got some great voice actors. I'm still in like conversations with Silent Hill 2 fans as well, like which performances do we prefer? We tend to gravitate still to the original. It is a masterpiece. Yeah. That is the template. But the new actors for this game did a very good job. They're well animated, facial expressions, nuances in their voices. They understood the assignment and they delivered it well. It doesn't replace the original. It's there to support it and maybe get you interested in going back to play the second one.
Yeah.
If you can. I've completed it. I've got 6 of the 8 endings so far.
Nice.
And I'm looking forward to playing the game some more, getting those final 2 endings, and then finally leaving Silent Hill. But at the same time, I'm like, Bloober, if you make Silent Hill 1 or 3 next, I'll be a very happy person.
Where does it sit in your remaster kind of lineup with Dead Space, Resident Evil 4, and Silent Hill 2?
Good question. I think Resident Evil 4, then Dead Space, then Silent Hill 2.
Right. I kind of thought that might be the
case,
yeah.
I mean, just saying, you're splitting hairs here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Dead Space remaster was
brilliant.
The Resident Evil 4 remaster was damn standing.
Yeah. And Silent
Hill 2. I mean, it's had some patches. It's had a few issues here and there, some bugs in the game, but it's still a real love letter. They didn't mess it up. Like that's something,
good.
Right?
That's something, yeah.
So yeah, Silent Hill 2, high praise for that one. But I got a couple of films to talk about as well.
Nice.
I've been to the cinema a couple of times, and
you went outside.
I've been outside. Yeah, I know. I mean, that's because the sun's not out there anymore. Like I feel safe. I'm not going to burn into a crisp the moment I step outside. Now I'm in my element, and so I went to see Terrifier 3 from writer-director Damien Leone. Starring Laura Lavera and, of course, David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown. Now, I went into this film, and this film got worked up into a frenzy in my head, where so many people were telling me, Gary, this is the one that had people vomiting in the cinema. People were fainting and being carted out, and I was like, fuck off. Like, this is just all promotional material. This is just them marketing the film to drum up excitement, anticipation. And then there were photos of people being sick, and they were handing out vomit bags. And I'm like, the vomit bags being handed out is a gimmick. Like,
yeah.
But I didn't feel the urge to vomit once. I am so desensitized to horror anyway.
Yeah.
It's real life horror that kind of mortifies me and makes my hair go white,
Yeah.
fall out.
Yeah.
But Terrifier 3, I have to just applaud the gore effect. That's what you're going to see this film for. If you're a gore hound, you've probably already seen it. It is... And what I relished with Terrifier 3, maybe the others as well, is I grew up with, Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger. And, when you go back and you listen to, like, Savini talk about how he did this amazing, elaborate effect, and it was this and that, and limbs and heads and guts spewing out, and the MPAA went, cut it all.
Yeah.
And it's not in the film. And it's just like... And so I kind of like celebrate that we're in an age today where slasher horror movies can be like, you know what, we're not getting censored. Fuck it, we'll release it uncensored. We don't care. We're an independent movie, so screw it. And then all the gore you could want. And I was like, I like that my memory of those movies, your imagination creates the gore, but I do also like just being given a platter of splatter, and that is what Terrifier is, unashamedly so. And the performance of David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown, he is great. He is what brings the comedy to it, and it balances out that horrendous, visceral, bloody gore, which is hyper-realistic now, and it evens it out. At the end of the day, like, the film was overlong and bloated like the second one.
Yeah.
The drama scenes were done by actors that just kind of just delivered it almost one note. I like that this third film tried to have some PTSD, some trauma from surviving the events of the second film, because this is the first time we've had characters survive a film, and they're still like being terrorized by Art. So, and I liked the brother-sister sibling relationship. But like, it wasn't very well explored. It was just like, see, we got drama and story. There's something.
But the thing I haven't watched it. I've wikied it, and most of the films that Gary's going to talk about, I've wikied anyway.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I know a lot of people are just going to sit there in the chat now, or probably up and leave and be like, "Oh my god, Ian's talking now." But hear me out. Just hear me out.
I'm listening.
Hear me out. The issue that we've got with Terrifier, and the issue that I've had since Terrifier 1, is that it has, and this is strangely no pun intended, but actually is involved, it has no substance.
No, this is true.
The Terrifier franchise has always relied upon the gore and the impact that the gore has on the audience to make the film be remembered. Most of the people will remember Terrifier 1 as the film that had the hacksaw sequence in.
Yeah, still probably the most goriest or violent scene, I
probably
think.
the most,
because of the nudity, the vulnerability, the screams, and the...
Yeah, and it was the first time we'd ever seen something like that.
Even though something similar happens in the third one with a chainsaw.
Exactly. Well, that's it. I've seen that sequence through viewing it online in places, and I'm like, it doesn't have the same impact. Now, I don't think it has the same impact, because the first one is filmed in such a particular way that the lighting allows you to look at what he's hacksawing and makes you go, oh, is it kind of real? Is it fake? Blah, blah, blah. With this newest one, with this shower sequence, and with a few of the sequences else, like the table sequence with the rat, shall we say.
Yeah.
The
Very
lighting...
American Psycho.
Yeah. The lighting is so well lit that you can see the prosthetic. And like we said with the shower sequence, when he's there and he's just going around and he's chainsawing these people up and left, my brain goes, it's a prosthetic body. He's not really chainsawing people up. I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre, hits better at home with
that's much more frightening.
Sequence.
Yeah,
than what Art is trying to do with his films. Where do you go? You've had 3 films with no basis or storyline or background for the killer. And with the fact that Gary's about to talk about 2 other films that have come out this year, which have a better background for their horror characters that they're trying to instill into the audience, than this one that's had 3 movies now and has had nothing.
Yeah, at the same time, they are building a mythology behind Art the Clown, like how he gets resurrected. Like, apparently, they wanted, like, Damien Leone wrote that Art gets birthed out of the back of the head of, I think it's Lizzie, the girl from the first one with the deformed face. But then he watched, what was that film where the girl had her clone sister in the back of her head?
Malignant.
Malignant. He watched Malignant and he was like, God damn it! So he tore it up and was like, I need
to
go.
So in the second one, she gives birth to his head.
That's it.
And then in the third one, his headless corpse turns up.
Yeah. And reattaches itself.
And
then he goes into like a 3-year coma.
You're right,
or a 5-year coma.
Right, exactly. So the movie just jumps 5 years. Like I read as well, there's a sequence where the girl from the first one does something personal with a piece of glass.
Yes.
So it's like, wouldn't Why? Why did you have to have that in there?
Because it's disturbing.
Exactly. He had to have something disturbing. This character has not been in the first one for very long. She's established for this one, and she dies.
Yeah. I was going to say, even the Cenobites are blushing at some of the things that Art and his colleagues get up to.
I'm like, they're wanting to push the envelope so that people remember it, so that when they say, hey, guess what? We're making Terrifier 4, your audience goes, let's go. But I said this to Gary, where I work as well, there were some people who were interested in going to see it, and I almost turned them off and said, no, don't go and see it. It's not worth the time. But actually, I changed my mind, and I turned to them and I said, no, go and see it, because you're young, you're right at the right age to go and see this film in the cinema. I didn't get a chance to see gory movies like this in the cinema because we were told that it was horrible. Go and see it, because in 10 years' time, at least you'll be able to turn around and say, hey,
I was there.
I was there.
Yeah, and again, I think I've got more of this in the news section. But again, it's to celebrate independent filmmakers. Like after Terrifier 2, Hollywood was snooping around Damien Leone, like, come to Hollywood, come to Hollywood, give us your franchise, we'll give you millions. And he went, no, because you'll censor it and you'll water it down and you'll do what you want with it, and it won't be mine anymore.
Okay, that was a really bad plan. Because
was it?
Yes.
Terrifier 3 did really, really well.
Right.
Without Hollywood.
Right. No, it's done really, really well without Hollywood. Yes. But the next one may not.
It's true.
And the next one may not after that.
I think they should have stopped now. But it's horror franchises. They make money, you make more.
Yeah, and he can go and make a fourth one, and he probably will. And he'll probably be able to freely, independently push the envelope even more because he doesn't have anybody that he's got to answer to. But that doesn't mean it's going to get another cinema release, because people might go, I'm sorry, no, we can't.
It will based off 3.
We can't show this.
If it gets to that point,
we can't show this. Yeah, because that depends on how far he wants to push it.
Yeah.
Now, if he had sold it, he would have made money off of his idea, which is what we always want to do.
But he's not selling out.
He will have to, because we all have to. He will end up having to be able to get it out if he wants to get it out properly, and he wants to make the money back off of it, depending on how much he made off the next one. But what I'm saying is, if he'd sold it, they could have gone and tried to make their next one, and they might have made it better, because with the less gore, like we said, imagination does the better work.
Yeah.
David Howard Thornton would have at least been able to go to a bigger stage, because as an actor, that's what he's always after himself. He likes working with you like working with the same actors and directors.
Yeah.
Because you feel comfortable. But you've also got to remember they've got to make money too. And as the director, if you're just saying, oh no, I don't want to sell out, who are you really thinking of?
Themselves, like, for their integrity, their project, their passion. Like,
but look at Evil Dead. Evil Dead's managed to do it. Managed to keep it doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But he did sell out.
He did. Yeah.
He sold it.
He sold it to he sold the third. I mean, he's got the rights back now, but like after Universal's, like he's kind of probably regrets that now. But
that's it.
Because I remember he didn't have the money to finance his own movie of that scale.
Does Damien Leone want to be known as a good director, or does he want to be known as the director of the Terrifier series?
Right now, I think that's what he wants to be known for. So,
and that's
but it'll be interesting to see where he goes beyond Terrifier 5. So, if there is anything left after you get to that point.
Oh, you can milk this clown for years.
Well, if you think Terrifier 3 doesn't have substance, I can tell you a film that does.
Yes.
The Substance, from writer-director Coralie Fargeet, who, from what I can tell, she did a couple of other projects, but she did one episode of The Sandman back in 2022, so that's our only thing that I've seen. It stars Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and Dennis Quaid, and it's about a fading celebrity who takes a black market drug, a cell-replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself.
Yes.
Man, this film has continued to stay with me long after the credits have rolled. This has been nearly 2 weeks now since I've seen the film, and I'm still thinking about it. I'm still haunted by it.
I wikied it. It's still
this film was, in my opinion, more gross than Terrifier 3. It was gorier than Terrifier 3, and it was better acted, and it had a more interesting story. So I'm not trying to shit on Terrifier. I'm just using it as an example because we also just talked about
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
But I do think it's been a really good year for horror films this year, and I think The Substance is definitely going on my list of one of the best films I've seen this year. It was also great to see Demi Moore. I haven't seen her acting in a film or leading in a film in so long.
Yeah.
It was great, and of course the role required a sort of aging Hollywood actress who was no longer in the limelight, kind of was once an Oscar winner. I mean, they do it in like visual storytelling done very well, where we see her as a starlet. We see the Walk of Fame like sign being made. We see her there celebrating the spotlight, the dress, the cameras, everything, and then we see the star on the road, sort of
Walk of Fame.
just being slowly eroded away, cracked, shat on, people dropping their kebabs on it.
Wow.
So and like that visually represents how she's treated today. And you've got the wonderfully awesome Dennis Quaid, who is probably the most disgusting character I've seen in film this year. He is an absolute pig.
More disgusting than Art the Clown?
Yes.
Holy shit, what a surprise.
And I put it down to some of the amazing camera work as well. Like, the camera, like, there's a gross sequence where Dennis Quaid is eating, and the camera is right there in his face, like, close up, and you hear, like, the bones breaking, the chewing, the biting, and the mess. Like, it's loud. It's gross. He's sweating. An extreme close-up of a fly on the back of his sweaty neck. Like, that's what I mean by gross. It grosses you out with the mundane stuff.
Yes.
With the way that it's filmed. And I think it's also there to mentally prepare you for what's to come. On top of that, it's also a really great contrast to the sex appeal of the film when you have the younger, sexier, hotter version of Demi Moore. Who, once she gets, like, in the limelight, extreme close-ups of her butt, of her breasts, of her front, everything. It's, like, in slow motion, like, look at all the curves, look at the moves, look at the tone, look at the muscle shape and everything. It's sexy. On contrasting with the grossness, it's such a flip-flop. And, of course, the film is about her, like... The film is really about self-loathing. Like, the character really hates herself that much. She hates how she's aged. You know, there's a wonderful sequence where she's in front of the mirror. Like, she's realized she's really not got any friends, and she accidentally bumps into someone she worked with on a show like 30 years ago. And he's just like, I'll give you my number. You know, please call me. Like, But she realized she's got no friends. She goes to call him, and she goes to the mirror to prepare herself. And it's the makeup, the hair, the dresses, and how she feels like she doesn't look as attractive as she does.
Yeah.
At the same time, she's also got her younger version of herself out there on a giant billboard right outside of her window. So she's being reminded of her other self living the life that she had. But then she gets envious of her younger self, and her younger self gets popular, even though she has to trade places once, like, every 7 days, until she gets greedy and decides, I'm going to take more juice out of the old bitch and go out there and live some life, go out and drink, take drugs and get laid and do all this. And so, but again, it's another part of how her other self hates herself. So both versions hate each other and themselves. And I thought the film was going to be about an hour and a half, but it went past the 2 hour mark.
It does.
I kept thinking the film was bringing itself to a conclusion. I had no idea the film was going to outdo Cronenberg's The Fly in terms of real nasty body horror. Like this, like I thought Society's kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
This was disgusting. And it's probably part of like the sex appeal, the grossness, and the gore, and the body horror all combined is just what kind of just settles.
Yeah.
Even though there's moments in the film where you question the motivation of the character, the film establishes well enough the position that she's in and why she is doing it. But you as an audience are just like, you still question, like, you can turn back, you can stop, but she can't. But the characters can't. But you understand why, even though you have that reaction.
Yeah.
I also love the substance. We don't find out, like, it's Wayland Yutani or fucking any corporation that's doing it. They're like, it doesn't go into the science. Believable. It doesn't go into the details. We don't know why they're doing it, to who they're doing it. Is it a social experiment on aging celebrities? Like, no idea. All we know is that there's a lot of people going through this substance process.
Yeah.
And so I was fine with the film not exploring any of that, but just sticking with the human drama and the characters. And I have to say, I am absolutely wowed by it. And this is from one writer director with a vision. And it's great. I will say there is, of course, a lot of nudity. Demi Moore is naked for a lot of the film.
Really?
It might put some people off if you don't. Or it might put some people on.
Man, gotta love Demi Moore.
Like I said, it's sexy and it's horrifying.
Indecent Proposal. I loved her in Disclosure. Was she G.I. Jane? She was G.I. Jane. She was G.I. Jane. Demi Moore,
It's always going to be Ghost for me, man.
Oh, Ghost, yeah. Fucking Ghost is right up there. Demi Moore has always been an outstanding actress for me. But I feel as I've gotten older, I feel that she is a kind of good example of the Hollywood system.
Yes, because she's been through it throughout her age.
She's been through it, yeah. She was in there when she was young. But she would obviously pick and choose her roles and not try to be forced out there like a lot of other actresses. You know, like I said, Indecent Proposal was a big one for her because it was like, would you sleep with a stranger for $1 million?
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, well, if the stranger's fucking Robert Redford or Demi Moore, then fucking sign me up. You know, you had that whole thing with Bruce Willis and their relationship. And I also feel like, I feel The Substance has come about maybe because of what's happened to Bruce Willis. You know, because the two of them were big acting stars, but now he's had to take a step back. It's like, okay, maybe I'll go back out there and I'll get a role. And somebody comes up to her and says, we got this horror film. Fucking kudos to Demi Moore to going, yeah, okay, I'll be horror. Well, I've never seen her in a horror.
No, yeah, exactly.
This is probably the first time I've ever seen her in a horror. And the fact that all attention was on Terrifier 3. We've had a few horror movies this year, but every one of them, I felt like it was so much hype before the movie had dropped that the movie had lost momentum before it went.
Yeah.
I thought it with Romulus, I thought it with Longlegs, and I thought it with Terrifier 3. And then I read something about The Substance, and I saw Demi Moore, and I went, okay, where have you come from? I'm going to do what I normally do, and I'm going to give it a wiki. And I gave it a wiki, and I couldn't believe what I was reading, not because of the shock value, but because of the detail in the story, the levels that I was getting from what I was reading about this character that Demi Moore was trying to represent, like you said, an aging actress. I'm like, oh my god, like she can easily play that role.
Yeah, but again, there was a lot of great visual storytelling with like the billboards and the passing of time and everything else, and
well, the details, you know, filled in the blanks of her, like you said,
but
using the substance,
a solid performance,
using the substance, and then them fighting over who wants to stay out for longer. And then I was, you know, it doesn't go into too much detail about the body horror, but it does say like shit starts to happen to the point that the last thing you see is the star.
Yes,
you know,
it goes back to the beginning.
It goes back to the beginning, and I thought, holy Christ, you know, this is before Terrifier 3 is dropped. I'm like, that's your movie of the year now. That's your horror of the year.
Yeah.
Don't go be watching some movie about some... I'm not bad-mouthing the guy who's playing as a clown, but he's got no backstory.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally just him and a chainsaw and some blood and guts.
Yeah.
Coralie Fargiat took Demi Moore, and from what I've read and from what I'm hearing from people, gave her a fucking standout role in the latter end of her career. I mean, they're probably not going to make a Substance 2.
I wouldn't like them to.
But they could.
They could.
They could and just go, let's make a Substance 2 and let's get more beautiful
women. They'll just turn into multiplicity and it'll become a comedy or something.
Yeah, but can you imagine you get like a bunch of aged...
you just want a bunch of Demi Moores, don't you?
Well, a bunch of older actresses, but by the end of the movie, they've molded into one giant...
Critter's ball.
Well, I was thinking more...
Teeth and nails everywhere.
I was thinking more the Trapper Keeper thing from fucking South Park. Oh, we are Hollywood. Join us together.
Well, my next horror movie that I'd like to talk about, again, about self-loathing, is Smile 2.
You're liking a lot of the self-loathing stuff, man. It's just...
I think Hollywood's just like... I think Hollywood hates itself for what it's done, which is why it's making films about people hating themselves in the Hollywood system. This is from writer-director Parker Finn. It stars Naomi Scott, Rosemary DeWitt, and Luca Cage. It's about It's about a character who's about to embark on a world tour. Global pop sensation Sky Riley begins experiencing increasingly terrifying and inexplicable events. Overwhelmed by the escalating horrors and the pressures of fame, Sky is forced to face her past.
I'd just like to say quickly before Gary goes into details of his visual performance of watching this movie, I think they've done very well to make a sequel for what could have easily just been a standalone movie.
Yeah.
But also they've made a sequel that is slowly starting to expand and hopefully gives us more lore on whatever the fuck this demon thing is.
Right, yeah, like, it's still unknown. Is it an alien? Is it a demon? Is it a parasite? What is it? Like, it's no explanation because the demon in Smile 2 plants ideas in your head with nuggets of truth, maybe?
Yeah.
To mislead you. And I guess it's my one criticism of Smile 2 is that, similar to the first film, you don't know how much is real and how much she's imagining and how much is the demon's influence. Like whether her best friend is really there or not, whether this old guy who's had experience with people battling the Smile demon and they lost, and now he's here to make sure that Sky Riley doesn't become the next victim. So there's lots of interesting like tidbits of story, but again, the film doesn't focus on that. It focuses on this character of Riley, who is a recovering drug addict and substance abuser who he is like a year after a horrific car accident which broke her leg and her spine, and she's got parts of her rib cage missing. She's got scars all over her body which she's trying to hide, like, and the costume designer's like, no, we're going to use this and work with this, and so she's dealing with that recovery, on top of then of course witnessing like the curse being passed on to her. She witnesses somebody kill themselves in front of her, so the curse moves on to her. So while she's battling the curse, she's battling her inner demons and coming to terms with the fact that some of the horrible things that happened to her before the demon was her own fault. Therefore, the self-loathing and everything else. Like, there's this running like thing where she, every time she's stressing out, she literally grabs clumps of her hair and pulls it out. Like, she does it a few times. By the last time, like, there's a whole scalp missing with red bruises, and it's like, God, it's
savage.
Horrible.
Yeah.
But the imagery of the smile, of people walking by with that smile, it's still as frightening and weird and creepy as ever. Even though, like I said, it maybe outstays its runtime welcome, the performance by Naomi Scott in the lead role was amazing. It's been a long time since I've watched a horror film where I felt somebody go through the ringer, like kind of Ash from the Evil Dead, where they're just being punished relentlessly, like, and there is no escape.
Like The Machinist.
Right? But yeah, Smile 2, it was really entertaining, very well acted, and I predicted how it would end. I was like, how do you really freaking escalate this franchise now, going into a third one, which hasn't been announced yet, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Smile 3, which by all accounts should be bigger and gorier than ever before. Really, really entertaining, really good fun.
It just makes me think of, I think it's Apex Twin.
Right.
Apex Twin, window licker with the advert, the video with the guy smiling. That's every time I look at it and people are like, hey, it's a Smile movie. I'm like, oh, it's window licker. But then every now and again I keep remembering what that demon looks like, and I'm like, I'm gonna build up my bravery to sit down and watch it.
Nice. Yeah.
I just need a little something. I need a background for this demon. Like the substance, the background was enough that it was a chemical.
Yeah.
That it's not. But if it's a demon, I need to understand how long it's been here for. Why have we never heard about it up until this point in the first place? Why it's anything. Just give yourself at least a mile head start over fucking Terrifier,
right? And
your franchise will last.
But I just think it's been good. Like, this Halloween, there's a lot of selection to films in the cinema to go and see that are going to test your mettle. So that's great. I don't think Blumhouse have got any crappy PG horror movies in the cinema at the moment, but if they do, nobody gives a fuck right now.
And we're still waiting for Saw 11.
Yeah, I think that'll probably be next October now.
Next October now,
Yeah. Shall we get into some news, Ian?
Let's do some news.
Alrighty, well, of course, at first we always like to celebrate those that are no longer with us that brought so much joy or so much creativity and art to the arts.
Yes.
And the first one I want to mention today is Dick Pope, has passed away at the age of 77. Dick Pope was a fantastic cinematographer who primarily worked on Mike Leigh's films, starting with Life is Sweet in 1991, after he had shot The Reflecting Skin in 1990, which we both said was a really visually striking film.
Great movie.
Dick Pope shot many films with Mike Leigh, including Secrets and Lies, Topsy Turvy, Happy Go Lucky, and Hard Truths. Pope also worked with Neil Berger on The Illusionist, and with Barry Levinson on Man of the Year. Empire magazine said it really well by saying, the expression, every frame a painting, is one that's been used many, many times over the years, and yet rarely has there been an artist whose work is so consistently and thoroughly deserved to be described in such terms as Dick Pope, whose ability to convey the darkest, brightest, and most diverse shades of humanity in his camera work will be remembered for generations to come. Our thoughts are with Dick Pope's family, friends, and peers at this difficult time, especially his wife, Pat. He will be sorely missed.
Skills, man. You get remembered.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
Next up, I sadly want to bring up Dame Maggie Smith has passed away at the age of 89 years. A beloved actress across both stage and cinema, with her breakout role in the 1965 adaptation of Othello, where she played Desdemona, which landed her an Oscar nomination, which also starred Michael Gambon, who she would work with then in the Harry Potter series of films, where Maggie Smith played Professor Minerva in 7 of the 8 films. You might also remember her as the elderly Wendy Darling in Spielberg's Hook film. Yeah, incredible actress, will absolutely be missed.
Do you know she died an exact year after we'd lost Michael Gambon?
Damn, yeah.
And I just remembered as well, it'd been bugging me for ages of all the films that I'd seen Maggie Smith in.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's Clash of Titans. No. It's I think it's Clash of Titans where she plays the mother of Calabos, and he has to go he has to go get the head. Yeah, the
Clash of Titans.
The Clash of Titans.
Yeah. Nice.
You see her head falls down. She's got the statue head, and she's
she's playing Athena.
Is it Athena or the other? I think it's the other goddess. Yeah, definitely Clash of Titans. It's not Jason and Argonauts. I was getting confused now.
Next one I want to bring up is Chris Christopherson. Has passed away at the age of 88. The award-winning country singer and actor has passed. With over 100 acting credits listed on IMDb, Chris always left a mark on all of his films with an outstanding screen presence. My personal favourite being Convoy from 1978 by Sam Peckinpah. The old rubber duck. Chris Christopherson was also fantastic in the Blade films alongside Wesley Snipes as the character Whistler. Chris was also a brilliant singer-songwriter. He penned songs for Johnny Cash, Janis Joplin, Sammy Smith, and Ray Price, along with his own country music. Fellow singer-songwriter Dolly Parton touchingly posted, "A great writer, a great actor, a great friend. I will always love you." And Christopherson's Blade 2 director Guillermo del Toro added his own personal tribute, hailing a true and tried humanist and a stand-up fella. A man he describes affectionately as being principled, funny, and absolutely no nonsense.
Yeah, you can tell. That guy, Chris Christopherson rocked a beard.
Oh, hell yeah.
Fucking
made it work.
Yeah,
he looked good. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, sad to see Chris go. Well, on to the news, and following up from Blade and Chris Christopherson, more Blade news. Marvel Studios have now fully removed Blade from the release calendar as troubles behind the scenes continue.
Wow.
It's been 5 years now since they announced that the production had begun on Blade. And you can't help but laugh again at the at Blade's appearance in Deadpool and Wolverine, where Blade says, "There's only one Blade. There's only ever gonna be one Blade." Well, it might be prophetic now,
Yeah, it might be,
because
that's
this
it.
other Blade movie might just slowly disappear. But production woes for this Blade movie include the COVID lockdown, the SAG-AFTRA strike, and the actors' strikes, the actors and the writers' strikes, along with losing 2 directors, countless writers. Mashahir Ali, Blade movie seems to be stuck ice skating up that motherfucking hill.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
interesting. You see that you said Ali and Mia Goth. are
Yeah, they're
contracted
both
for it.
still contracted to be in the film, and Feige himself has recently stated that he's more bothered about getting the MCU's Blade right than he is released. So
I suppose that's good.
that's reassuring, but after 5 years, you should think they've got some kind of game plan now for what this should be.
Well, yeah, you should, but at least after 5 years, they're still attempting to work it. You
Yeah.
know, after 5 years, DC would have said, "No, we've canned it."
Right, tax write-off.
We filmed it and we've canned it, and nobody's watching this movie. I like the idea. Like, I didn't realize Mia Goth was in it, and Mia Goth, I think, is still riding high from the
The
three
Maxine
movies.
X Pearl trilogy, yeah.
I mean, the Maxine one I heard is a bit of a letdown in comparison
Pearl's
to
my
the other
favourite.
two. But I think she's really established herself as kind of a cool horror
She's great.
kind of character. Now, say she was playing the villain.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got to have her villain character be on par with Mahershala Ali's Blade character,
Yeah.
who we kind of know is going to be a rehash of Wesley Snipes. He doesn't mean to be, he doesn't want to be, he's going to be trying to do his own thing, but everybody, before that film even starts in the cinema, is going, he's no fucking Wesley Snipes.
Right.
But having him going up against Mia Goth, yes. Now, say Mia Goth is the heroine in which he's trying to protect,
Similar to the first one, yeah.
similar to the first one. You've still got to have Ali be his own Blade, but also living in the shadow of Wesley Snipes.
And we're going to have the Whistler character as well.
You've got to have him try not to overpower Mia Goth, because a lot of people will be like, well, she's a good actress anyway.
Yeah.
Why does he need to hold her hand all the way through these sequences? And then on top of that, you've got to have a really good villain.
Yes, absolutely. Deacon Frost is a great villain in Blade 1.
It's a lot of boxes to tick before you even start to try.
Is it a PG movie? Is it an 18 movie? I think that might be part of the
Exactly.
the creative problems behind the scenes.
Yeah, and on top of that, it's the audience as well. The audience is sitting there literally going, "He's no Wesley Snipes."
All right, yeah.
And but you know what? The best thing I would do: have Wesley Snipes in the movie. Have him as the aged Whistler, but he's an aged vampire Whistler who's taking care of Mashallah.
It would just be too distracting.
No,
It would just be too distracting.
Well, people thought the same thing with Chris Christopherson, and he fucking owned it.
Yeah.
He owned it so good.
Yeah, but he didn't play Blade in a earlier.
No, he didn't. But he was such a classical actor that people
Yeah.
weren't too sure how he would work in this new Marvel movie that nobody
Yeah.
thought was going to last. But Chris Christopherson worked it so well that when he died in the first one, they demanded him back for the second one.
Hell yeah! So we killed him again.
So we killed him again.
Yeah. Alrighty. Earlier in the year that we learned that Peter Jackson and Philippa Boyens are returning to Middle Earth.
Yeah.
With Warner Brothers to produce and make 2 new Lord of the Rings films.
Return of the King.
It seemed like 2 Gollum films were planned, but recently Philippa's clarified that Gollum won't be split into 2 films, that The Hunt for Gollum will be its own, and the other film as well will both be set in and around the Fellowship of the Ring stories. But both films will also heavily feature Gandalf, as Sir Ian McKellen is pretty much the one that announced it. And Philippa shared that it definitely, the Gollum film is not 2 films, she says. That there was a genuine misunderstanding that happened because we've begun to work conceptually on 2 different live-action films. The first being The Hunt for Gollum, the second one to still be confirmed. Even in just 1 film, Boyens promises a gripping tale to be told in Serkis's feature. Said it's quite an intense story which falls after the birthday party of Bilbo and before the mines of Moria, she explains. It's a specific chunk of incredible untold story told through the perspective of this incredible creature. So
Right.
I'm like, okay, that's fine. So no idea what the other film's going to be about yet, where it's set, but in and around the trilogy. So apparently, what's he called? Aragorn actor.
Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen was asked to come back, but he said, wait a minute, my character wouldn't be there at that time,
No, he
so
wouldn't.
no,
No.
I'm not coming back because it makes no sense to my character. Like, he loves the Aragorn character. He lived it.
Yeah.
So he was like, no, I'm not returning for that story. But of course, Ian McKellen has pretty much signed on for both films, reprising the Gandalf. So.
I can't help but keep thinking every time I look at that title, The Hunt for Gollum, I keep thinking The Hunt for Gollum October.
Right.
like it's just, I don't know.
For me, I'm like, you know what? Like we've had 2 terrible Amazon Rings of Power seasons, and so I'm like, you know what? Like, if Peter Jackson can do it with Andy Serkis and the OG team from the Lord of the Rings trilogy, if they've got some more stories to tell, I don't think they need money. Like, I don't think they're doing it, but I think they want to do it because they love that world, and they want to see it done right, not done badly. And I think that's what's brought them back.
Yeah, Amazon
let's do it right
so bad.
again, just to remind everyone what it could be and should be.
Oh, wait, did you say it's Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, Warner Brothers are predominantly DC to me.
Sure.
Always
well, I mean, it was New Line Cinema that produced the original 3, but I don't know if New Line, did they get...
I don't know, but to me, like, so Warner Brothers would be saying to them, we need 2 Lord of the Rings movies. Here's a bunch of money. Peter Jackson will go, okay, we've got these stories. This is what we can work with. Now, The Hunt for Gollum, okay, we're looking at like a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
That he starts looking to try to get the ring back from the hobbits.
Mm-hmm.
20 quid that he doesn't get the ring back by the end of the movie.
It's on.
I bet, like what she says, like, oh, they get to the Mines of Moria. I bet you he doesn't get it back when he gets to the Mines of Moria. And the other movie, I would like maybe The Fall of Moria.
Sure, explore that, yeah.
Like The Fall of Moria, or
odds are all the dwarfs die.
Yeah, but the initial digging down.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know. I mean, it's because I'm just having Rings of Power flashbacks. So I'm like, I don't want to see that.
Oh, okay, yeah, no.
Oh dear. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Next story. We're circling all the way back around to
Terrifier.
As Damien Leone has now revealed that he has plans not just for Terrifier 4, but also a Part 5. Though he now plans to have much shorter run times for these sequels.
Yeah.
He said, Terrifier 3 jumped to the top of the box office, knocking out DC's own Joker movie. Terrifier 3 had a modest budget of $2 million, and so far has made over $18 million in the cinema.
Minions could have fucking beat out Joker if they'd had it.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything beat Joker. But it was the fact that it was the Battle of the Clowns this month, and art was the victor over classic Joker. It's like, what is the world coming to?
Not really classic Joker, is he?
Well, no, he's not even Joker. He's what's he called? Is it Arthur
Bum
Fleck?
Bat boy. Oh, Fly for Fleck.
Yeah. But yeah, when asked just how many more of these Terrifier films Damien's going to make, he said, on that level, I would absolutely love to see him go into space, or go to Las Vegas, or go to the Wild West. But he also said, I can't imagine it going past 2 more movies. He said, for him personally, as a storyteller, I think that my well is going to eventually run dry. Plainly because I pack so much into each movie, he said. He said he definitely needs to shorten his films or split them into 2 parts.
Oh, God.
Which is why we're going to get a part 4 and 5 instead of just a part 4, which is 3 hours long.
Why not just put an intermission in it?
Well, that's up to the cinemas, really.
No, that's up to that's
I guess
up to
you can force it in.
Yeah, you
it's
can.
Rare.
I mean, well, Monty Python and the Holy Grail had an intermission in. I mean, it's only for like 5 seconds, but still an intermission. Lord of the Rings had an intermission. If you're gonna, make a 3-hour-long Terrifier movie, but have an intermission so that people can go to the toilet and go, man, I can't believe he hooked that girl in the crotch and dragged her behind his bus. Let them talk about it, absorb what they're seeing.
Yeah.
Even an hour and a half of Art the Clown killing people is still not massively entertaining unless you've got a good story in it. Send him into space, fire him into Las Vegas, get him to go back in time.
Send him back in time.
Back in time to the Wild West. It doesn't matter, but it's got to have a good story with it. That's also the main thing that's missing from Joker 2. You know,
I don't know. I actually didn't bother seeing it.
Everybody's talking about how bad Joker 2 is, but Joker 2 is missing the good story elements that the first Joker movie had. This second one is trying to capture what the first one had and then going, oh look, it's got Harley Quinn in it. Oh look, it's got fucking Harvey Dent in it. It's got practically every other DC fucking Batman character in it except
the Joker.
Batman.
Oh, Batman. But he said, going back to Damien Leone, he said, I could want to make one more movie, but I have so many set pieces, so many kill scenes and scenarios that I want to put Art the Clown in. I could end up with another 2 hour, 2:30 movie. And he said, I don't want that because I know the audience doesn't want that either. At least the majority of fans would rather have a 90-minute movie. If that's the case, then I would probably split them into 2 movies. But I truly don't see it going on further than that.
Netflix TV show.
Mark his words.
TV show.
He'll sell the rights after part 5, then Netflix will get their own Terrifier show or whatever.
Did you finish season 3 of Chucky?
No.
Man, I didn't watch it, but luckily somebody on YouTube just kept putting up videos of all the kills that he did.
Yeah.
And literally, I watched Chucky kill somebody in every fucking episode that they
he does. He kills at least one person every episode.
I was like, this is amazing.
It is. It's fun.
It was just really new, and I was kind of getting a bridge of the story as it was going on. So yeah,
I mean, he's killed Devon Sawyer like how many times?
Oh god, yeah. There was a compilation kills of that.
Yeah.
Don't make a Terrifier movie. Just make a Terrifier TV show and have him kill somebody new in each of the episodes all the way through.
Alrighty, we're going to quickly get into some quick fire news.
Nice.
Tom Holland and Zendaya are gearing up for Spider-Man 4, with Holland saying after reading the script, it lit a fire within him. And that they're both really excited with the new film, saying that they sat down to read it together and they were bouncing around the living room like, this is a real movie, worthy of the fans' respect. So, hey man, he's hyped about getting a good dramatic Spider-Man movie, so I hope so, because the third one was a fun one.
I'm sure they are. I wish them all the best. I just where can they go with the next story?
Exactly. That's why I'm glad to see they're excited for
No, I'm serious. Like, where are they going? They need a big villain for him.
Yeah, so I don't know who it is. I don't know what the story's going to be.
Unless the villain is Zendaya.
I kind of doubt it.
And we're just watching an episode of Tom Holland and Zendaya fight over their relationship throughout the movie because that's really what Mary Jane
I like Spider-Man and
wait. She doesn't know who he is.
Not anymore, no.
They'll have to rectify the memory wipe.
Probably, yeah. So, I don't know, there's going to be, some more drama there. Like, I don't know, I like those actors. I like Spider-Man a lot. I'm kind of glad that, Marvel will still get to play with this iteration of Spider-Man. Yeah. And that Sony have just gone, no, you can't play with our toys anymore. No matter what the money.
Yes, Sony are like, we need your money.
Right.
Yeah, because we're selling these PlayStation consoles at an extortionate price. So, yeah, you can have Spider-Man back. We don't need him.
You can borrow him. Ready or Not 2 is in the early stages of production with Samara Weaving and Radio Silence set to return.
Wait.
Radio Silence consists of Tyler Gillette and Matt Bettinelli-Olfen, who since Ready or Not have directed Scream 2022 and Scream 7 and Abigail, and they are looking forward to continuing the Ready or Not story. No details on the plot, just same writers, directors, and Samara Weaving is back. That was all I needed to know to get excited. Ready or Not.
I was worried because I was like, who names their child Radio Silence?
Yeah, so their team name.
I keep seeing Radio or Not on Netflix, and I'm like, I definitely need to watch it because Samara Weaving stood there with blood all over her face. Looks inviting.
Oh, hell yeah.
I just haven't got to it yet. But I haven't watched The Babysitter either.
That's good fun.
Yeah,
really good fun. That's McGee. Shinobi, the video game, To film adaptation is now in the works, with Extraction director Sam Hargrave set to direct for both Sega and Universal Studios. Sega have been trying since 2014 to get this project off the ground to tell the story of the Shinobi series, which now consists of 14 mainline game entries and spin-offs. So I was like,
Nice.
I got a surprise actually to realize how long this franchise has been going. I remember the Mega Drive versions.
Well, I mean, it's not really been super well known. I mean,
No.
I think it was overshadowed. Shinobi came out around, just after Ninja Gaiden, and Ninja Gaiden was the more difficult one. Shinobi was pretty hard analog arcade game. I was like Shadow Dancer with the white dog that you sent off against people.
Yeah.
I haven't played any since. If they've gone into 3D, I think Ninja Gaiden absolutely smashed them.
Idea. Yeah.
Same with Tenchu. Those are ninjas. Those are assassins.
Still, yeah, no word on casting or anything else, but a good action director all the same.
Yeah.
Now, here's a news story that's got me incredibly excited, Ian. Alien Isolation.
Oh god, yeah.
Video game sequel is officially in the works. It's been 10 years.
10 years
since the release of Isolation, and Creative Assembly took to X to celebrate the game's lasting success and celebrate by announcing the sequel. They posted on the 10th anniversary, "It seems only fitting to let you know that we have heard your distress calls loud and clear. Today, I'm delighted to confirm, on behalf of the team, that a sequel to Alien Isolation is in early development. We look forward to sharing more details with you when we're ready." Glorious!
God, I would love it if Alien Isolation is set on Romulus and you're running around the station at the same time as those other people, right? And you're the one that ejects the narcissist out of the ship at the end. Because supposedly, spoilers, Romulus, the escape pod that Ripley is in the ship, and you can kind of briefly see it in one of the shots. Now imagine if they did it, because the space station's huge.
Yeah.
Space station is huge. A lot of it is shut off.
Yeah.
And
Amanda was trying to find her mum.
Amanda was trying to find her mum, and she gets picked up at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Now imagine if she does end up.
She got picked up by the Romulus station.
Yeah, she got picked up by a ship. That
it's
took
weird
her
that both
to
the
Romulus
Ripleys would be
station.
there together.
Ripley's
Don't
there,
do that.
but her mum's in cryo and doesn't come out of cryo throughout it. And it's actually Amanda who ends up getting mum into the ship and shot off and gets separated again.
Yeah.
Or literally dies. But that's why Whale and Yutani lie about her going old.
Yeah, and just give her a fake doctored picture of like, she died of an old lady. Even though we've kept her on ice somewhere as well, floating in space.
Yeah.
But yeah, even more Alien news. I haven't actually managed to get into the podcast notes. Is that Fede Alvarez has said that he has been approached pretty much about continuing the story of the characters from Alien Romulus.
Of course he has.
So Alien Romulus 2 is in the pipe.
Of course it is. Alien Romulus 2. How is it Romulus 2 if the Romulus station got blown up?
I don't know, because it was. I mean, then you know, Alien Romuluses. I don't know.
Romuli, yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know what they're going to do, but they're looking at. I mean, it's all like conceptual right now. They're still working out what story they want to tell, but it seems like after the success of Romulus, continue the story of those characters. Fine. But it also seems like, because the question of Aliens versus Predator has come up, because it has been announced that we have Predator Badlands coming out next year, coming out theatrically to the cinemas after Prey was like streaming only. Romulus was going to be streaming only, but after Prey and after what they saw with the dailies, they were like, nope, cinema release, and I'm sure they're glad they did. But that has sparked interest in Predators and Aliens again, which as a fan, even though I'm more than upset with some of those Alien films, I'm still happy and enthusiastic to see what stories they can tell in this universe, and I love seeing that creature, the xenomorph, in all of its glory anyway. But they've said that Aliens might appear in Predator films, Predators might appear in Alien films, but we're not making at the moment an Aliens versus Predator movie, because they probably don't want to be tarnished by the shite that came before in that universe. But yeah, 2 new Predator films next year. It seems 1 animated, and it seems like the Predator's going to be fighting pirates and fighting ninjas. and maybe clowns and maybe housekeeping ladies that punch you.
Housekeeping.
Predator's
Mr. Tickles!
Predator's certainly going to have his hands full. But yeah, so exciting times for both franchises. Scream 7 has set a February 2026 release date, with Neve Campbell returning to the franchise, with Kevin Williamson, who wrote all the films up to this date, stepping in for the first time into the director's chair. We're pretty sure that Courtney Cox will also return as Gale Weathers. Although most of the surviving cast from the previous Scream films have all quit the project or been fired from the project.
I honestly, personally can't find them any more entertaining. I just watched Scream 1, rewatched it for Halloween, and I was like, this is amazing. I'm never watching any more ever again.
I like to.
I like to.
It's I love the meta sequelness.
Yeah, I like to as well, but and I like to because it continues what we know of the first one. It keeps the franchise going a little bit longer. I like Timothy Olyphant. I like the expansion of the characters. The killing off of Randy and then the wounding of fucking Dewey and stuff like that. But if I was going to watch 2, then I might as well watch 3.
Yeah.
I know, but I feel the same thing with 4.
4 was a reinvention again.
Yeah, but it's the
reboot.
Yeah, it's the reboot. So it's just trying to be Scream 1 again.
It is, yeah.
But it can't, because Scream 1 is Scream 1 is so good and original. Because like I said, I was rewatching Scream 1 and I like the old callbacks to all the different horror movies and all this different stuff. Now, as the later franchise movies go, wouldn't you get the Scream 7 and go, wait, I've seen this before. This has happened 6 times. Why don't we all just not rush around and get stabbed? Why don't we just wait in the room till morning, see which one of us wanders off and which one of us gets a phone call, and then we'll narrow down who the fucking killer is. Because, Sydney, have you got any more brothers or sisters that you don't know about that might turn up? You there, girl we've never seen in the other previous movies. Who are you? Do you happen to have a family member who might have inexplicably been killed or has been murdered in a strange way? You have? What's that in your pocket? A mask? Hey, there's the killer.
I have fun with these. It's the Scooby-Doo nature. Like, I want to find out who those pesky kids are, and I want to find out with the big reveal who the killer is, so I can sit there going, I knew it was you.
Man, the last one, just the shitty, because you had was it the father and the son and daughter, right?
Yeah, it was a threesome.
Man, it's so shit. It's so shit because it's I still know what we did last summer.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Will Ben's son.
Yeah. I still enjoyed it. I was the only fool in the cinema.
He was the only fool.
The film must have done well enough to keep getting more, for them to actually get some money together to bring Campbell back.
Man, they fucking killed Buffy the Vampire Slayer in number 2. That's why they fucked up.
Yeah, that's true.
So fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them. I agree. Fuck 2.
Fuck 2.
Well, let's talk about some James Cameron news.
Woohoo, James Cameron!
He now has more than a plan for more Terminator films.
No!
Though with one big difference, Cameron wishes to jettison all of the specific iconography of the last 40 years of Terminator.
No shit, really?
So he wants to do Terminator, but ignore everything Terminator. So no John Connor, no Sarah Connor, no Arnold, no T-800s, and no T-1000s. Do away with all of it, he said. He said, you get too inside it, and then you lose a new audience because the new audience doesn't care about the stuff that you think they care about. He said, that's the danger, obviously, with Avatar as well. But I think we've proven that we have something for new audiences. He said, at the core of the Terminator films, you've got powerless main characters, essentially fighting for their lives, who get no support from existing power structures, and have to circumvent them, but somehow maintain a moral compass. And then you throw AI into the mix. Those principles are sound principles for storytelling today, right? So I have no doubt the subsequent Terminator films will not only be possible, but they'll kick ass. But this is the moment where you jettison all of the specific iconography. And I'm like, Karen, what the? Are you smoking, mate?
Mate, may I?
Yes,
may I?
By all means.
He is attempting to do what Ridley Scott attempted to do.
Well, at least
he's worded it better, and in fairness, he at least controls some of the franchise more than Ridley Scott controls of the Alien franchise.
Yes.
But what he's attempting to do, and this is what Ridley Scott wanted to do as well with the Alien series. So we know Ridley Scott didn't make Alien.
Right.
Dan O'Bannon did, and Ridley Scott was just directed to make the first movie.
He had a lot of input on it.
He had a lot of input,
but it wasn't his original idea.
Wasn't his original idea,
Yeah.
and he got a lot of the designs he got a lot of the designs for the creatures from Geiger and Stan Winston.
Yeah.
So, and at the same time, he didn't write the story; he just directed it.
Right.
James Cameron kind of did the same thing with Terminator. But what we know is he stole the idea from the Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
He stole the time traveling idea.
Although Cameron will still argue that it was in a fever dream.
Yeah. I was
Similarities,
half asleep. I don't know what I was doing. I just made up this idea.
I was just watching Twilight Zone.
But the fact that your entire universe is built on John Connor, Sarah Connor, and a T-800.
Yeah.
That's your entire universe. I've been saying this since Terminator 3, that it was a paradoxical circle. If you take one of them out, you end up taking away the whole thing. And that's what's happened with Genesis and Dark Fate. By removing John Connor or the Terminator from your timeline, you then create something completely new, different. Legion. Which the audience then goes, what? This doesn't make any sense.
Which is why I'm like, it contrasts exactly what Cameron thinks is what the audience wants.
Yeah, but what Cameron is here saying, I'm wanting to make a new Terminator movie, but if I don't use Arnie, and I don't use Sarah, Linda Hamilton, and I don't use John Connor,
or any of those characters,
I can create the same universe with the same structure of character and story making, but with something completely different. And so then when I go to make subsequent sequels, everyone has to come back to me and say, hey, Mr. Cameron, can we have permission to make a movie?
Like, I just don't understand why it needs to be called Terminator. Like, Terminator story's done. Okay? Like, it ended with, like, T2 3D.
Because,
like,
the Sarah Connor story.
But, like,
I
know we haven't had the future war, which is like the gap, I guess, that we kind of want, is the future war of Reese going back in time and complete the circle.
He can't break that circle. He's either got to set it in the future.
So with the fact that he's jettisoning everything, like, why call it Terminator then? Like,
because he needs to come back to that franchise.
Right.
And same thing that he's saying with Avatar. He's come up with these great ideas for Avatar. He put it out there. It made him a bunch of money, but it's just not selling. Why is it not selling? What's the audience not like? I'm giving them everything they want. I'm giving them 2 hours of depth and character and special effects and explosions and giving them everything that they want. Why are they not happy? Well, Cameron, it's because they're human. You could give every audience member sitting down watching your movie oral sex, right? Male or female, it doesn't matter. They sit down, they get their popcorn, they've got their ticket, and then somebody sits in front of them and goes, I'm going to give you oral sex while you watch this movie. And you go, awesome. And while they're doing it, at the end of the movie, there'll also be one person go, I didn't like that. And they'll be like, why? Why didn't you like that? You had everything. You had 2 hours of storytelling and depth and characters and explosions and somebody sucking you off and you still didn't like it. And they'll go, I don't know why. I'll have to think about it. And then they'll go to the internet. And Cameron will be like, I don't know. I made the movie for free, and any money I did make on the side, I gave away to charity. You know, we made it with just beautiful people and their guns. The guns didn't even shoot any ammo. It was bubbles, and it was a happy ending. And why weren't people happy?
Just wanted the old Terminator back. Well, Cameron has also been working on, and more committed now than ever, of directing an adaptation of To Hell and Back, The Last Train to Hiroshima. Cameron said it's an uncompromising theatrical film, The Last Train from Hiroshima, which will reportedly shoot as soon as Avatar production permits. And it will pivot around the true story of a Japanese man having survived the atomic bomb drop on Hiroshima, hitched a ride to Nagasaki, where he also survived the second nuclear blast.
Yes,
so,
do
true story
that.
in book form that Cameron's been wanting to make for like 20 years, but just,
Do that. And then make a Terminator movie called The Terminator, following somebody helping Carl Reese become Carl Reese. You don't see Carl Reese, but you see somebody going around the future war, and it's 2 hours of him in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. You don't see a machine until like the last 40 minutes.
Yeah. Alrighty,
Getting sucked off.
One last movie, one last news story for you. Denis Villeneuve has confirmed that Dune 3 will be his last film in the franchise.
Right, cool.
Dune Messiah. He said Dune Messiah is its own thing. It's not like a trilogy, where he also revealed his desire to exit the franchise. He said, listen, if Dune Messiah happens, it will have been many years for me on Arrakis, and I would like to do something else.
Yeah, sure.
I think it would be a good idea to make sure that in Messiah there are seeds in the project if someone else wants to come and do something afterwards. He said, because they're beautiful books. They are more difficult to adapt. They become more and more esoteric, and he doesn't want to delve into that. He's happy to tell Messiah and move on. Which, respect him. Like, I'd like to see him go and do other films too.
I was very impressed with Dune 1 and 2, but much like the David Lynch movies, they're one and done, really. They start off with the attack on Arrakis, they end with this battle on Arrakis, and everything is condensed. When you start to spread out, with what Villeneuve has done with the first two movies, nobody else is going to be able to come close. He can leave the door open, but then the problem is anybody else who comes in and tries to make it, they'll be, once again, like the Blade thing. People will be like, you're not Villeneuve. You haven't got his artistic nature. You haven't got this. You didn't even get Zendaya back. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Go do something else. Make a new Terminator movie.
I'll watch a Denis Villeneuve Terminator film as long as it's got Arnie and T-800s.
It won't.
No, it won't.
Because James Cameron owns all that.
Yeah. Okay, I've got one trailer that I want to talk about, and this trailer was something I think was in my news story a month or two ago.
Okay.
And this is Werewolves coming to theaters this Christmas. I'm like, yes, horror! You're going to give me a werewolf movie for Christmas? It's a great year.
Have you not heard of the new Bruce Campbell thingy?
Is it where he plays like a sheriff in a town that gets besieged by the not Evil Dead?
It's like, I think it's called Hysteria, where it's about a band in a small town and they become Satan worshippers and people stuff. He's only got a small part in it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I heard about it.
Bruce
When I heard he had a small part, I was like, I'll check it out. But
I bet you it's better than fucking Black Friday.
Probably will be.
Oh.
So I started watching the trailer for Werewolves, and I switched the trailer off when I saw what I wanted to see. And that was a practical werewolf costume in great lighting, looking like the best werewolf I've seen in a film to date. So I was super excited that we were going to get one of these. Alec Gillis and Tom Woodruff Jr. from both the Alien and the Predator series of films are working on the effects for this. Nice. And I have to say, it looks very promising. I'm really excited for this one. If you don't know what the premise is, it's that a year ago there was a supermoon, and anyone that was touched under the moon's sort of light turned into a werewolf and went and murdered a ton of people. It's now a whole year later, and the second supermoon is about to happen. Ooh. So, yeah, it's like The Purge, but with werewolves.
Well,
so basically, survive the night.
Somebody else has just pointed out as well, we're getting Nosferatu for Christmas. Trailer,
that's right, yes.
That trailer looked sick as fuck.
Hell yeah. So like I said, it's a great year for horror. I hope that these latter films coming out of the year don't let us down. Alrighty, well, that brings us to the conclusion of the first part of the podcast.
Part one, yes.
We're going to take a small break, but when we come back, Ian and I will be discussing the films that we picked for our Halloween-a-thon of reviews this year. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to part 2 of the podcast, where Ian and I are going to have a short conversation about the 9 films that we picked for our Halloween marathon of film reviews this October 2024. Yes. And like usually, we pick a franchise.
We do normally.
We've done the Nightmare on Elm Street films. Not all of them. We mixed that up with Chucky and Jason.
Yeah.
So the Friday the 13th films, we sort of numbered them a little bit.
Well,
but we did the Halloween series, the George A. Romero series, the Alien series,
the Final Destination,
Destinations, the Howlings, the Hellraisers. And so we were like,
Chucky.
we've done Saw.
We've done Saw.
So we were like, do we do Amityville? Do we do
Puppet
Master? The Evil Bong series?
Yeah,
like, where do we go?
The thing is, with the Halloween series we pick every year, like at the start of every year, we sit there in like January and February and we're like, right, we need to start talking Halloween because summer's going to be coming up. We're still doing the weekly reviews. Before we know it, we do discuss it a little bit and then put it on the back burner, and then time ticks on. And a lot of times my ideas are going out there because I'm throwing ideas at Gary like, what about this? What about that? One of my ideas was the Evil Bong series because I was just like, it looks stupid, easy, and
I was like, I don't know if I can watch all
YouTube.
of them.
Yeah, and Gary's like, I don't know if I can watch all of them. I'm like, well, what about the Amityville series? Because
I'm like, we get at least 2 good ones.
we like to have 2 films go up every week of Halloween through October. So we are looking at like 8 to 10 films.
Yeah.
Now, take into account that we've got to record 2 films, 2 film reviews for the Halloween, and then plus a third one for the week to just go up.
Yeah.
So we're recording through summer
2 to 3 reviews a week.
The
week. Editing then backlogs up.
Yes. We're trying to edit primarily our weekly ones while one of us in the background is editing the Halloween ones and then getting them all ready. So from July, we're recording and
right
then
through to the end of August.
All the way to the end of August to try and get the videos slowly up so that they can go past YouTube's copyright and be ready. The main goal is October, first week, that first Tuesday and Thursday, our first 2 film reviews to go up. So this year, it was a case of I come to Gary and I'm like, okay, what about ideas? And Gary, being the Libra that he is and the absolute pain in the ass, much like my wife, who I love, and I love Gary too, but they're both pains in the asses. He goes, I don't know, what are you thinking? And I'm thinking, that's not what I asked you. I came to you with 3 ideas and said, what do you think? And he already knows kind of what he wants to do, but he just doesn't know how to do it because, like we said, Amityville is like fucking...
Well, there's like 100 of them.
There's like 100.
So we do the official ones.
Yeah.
And then it's just the shower of shit afterwards.
Yeah, like with Howling, I remember we were doing Howling and we wanted to do the main series. And then after Howling 7, New Moon Rising, we were like...
There is an 8th one, but please.
There's still a few movies after this that we could do. And we were like, no, we just can't. We're done. Yeah. We're fucking done. The same with when we were doing the Saw series. I remember I really liked doing the Saw series one because...
I did too.
I enjoyed doing the Saw movies, but it was at the end when we'd finished...
We got to Spiral.
We'd finished Saw 9.
Yeah.
And we were just about to finish the Halloween review with Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, sorry.
Yeah.
And Gary went, I can't do any more.
Yeah, please take it. Like,
I've been editing.
I remember because I remember editing the Mannequin review. I was like, Ian, you take the Halloween film. I'm going to edit the Mannequin review because I need something fun.
Yeah.
To just distract myself.
Yeah, I need something other than blood and death. And so with this year's one, I said to Gary, I said, well, what about we pick 2 films from different yearly, sections, like the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, so on and so forth.
Yeah,
and then
decades.
we get them in. Yeah. And then Gary's like, okay, yeah, no, that sounds cool, but we could also try to fit in Hellraiser, Candyman, Prey, Evil Dead Rise, and the new Saw X movie. And I was like, well...
Because these are the ones that are kind of heavily requested all the time.
Yes, and we still need to finish those franchises. And it was just like, okay, we'll see what we can do, but let's just get the series done. So we started making our list, didn't we?
Yeah.
And, like, I need to ask you this, before we get into the list, why you changed 2 of your choices?
Well, Return of the Living Dead Part 3 wasn't my original choice.
Yeah,
my original choice for that... for what that was the 80s was Peter Jackson's Brain Dead, and because I just want to talk about Peter Jackson some more. Like Brain Dead was such a surprise film for me. Like I'll forever remember. I've forgotten his name.
Peter Jackson.
No, the like BBC presenter Mark Commode.
Right, Mark.
And Mark Commode had like a TV show where he was at the beginning of each film and at the end, like introducing them.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember, so I'll never forget Mark Commode for introducing me to Peter Jackson's Brain Dead. Like I just hit record the moment Commode started talking about the film. I was like, "This sounds great." Like, record. And I remember like making copies of that tape at school and giving it to friends. Like, "You gotta see this fucking film. Like, you're not gonna believe it." So yeah, just the wowed. But then it hit me. We'll probably get a Patreon request in the future to do Peter Jackson's Brain Dead. I was like, I don't know if anyone's ever going to pay as a Patreon for Return of the Living Dead Part 3. So I was like, you know what? I love that movie. If I've got a chance to pick it and put it on the list, Return of the Living Dead 3 has got to be done. Because, I just want to watch Melinda Clarke run around some more with all those piercings.
That is true. It was a great choice, man. It was a great choice.
I felt like, because my first choice of the 80s, was Reanimator.
Yeah,
and I was just like, you know what, I like carrying on like some of the team from Reanimator into Return of the Living Dead. Like I said, I love Brian Usna, and Stuart Gordon, and Screaming Mad George, and all those that worked on some of those films in the background. So yeah, so Reanimator was my first choice. Man. I also knew that you had never seen it before.
That's the most amazing thing. Like I said, we lived together for fucking 20 odd years ago. You know, I've been watching horror movies since I was like 8 years old. And I've watched horror movies with hundreds of people at different parties, at different times, you know, all over the place. And I'll tell you right now, it's never come up. Reanimator has never come up. Nobody's ever turned to me. Everybody who's known me has known the different types of films that I've watched back in the day and my video collection of how big it was. I never had a copy of Reanimator. Now, I only put that down to the fact, and I think it came up when Reanimator dropped as well, that people were like, look, Evil Dead 2 is better than Reanimator. You know, don't get me wrong, Jeffrey Combs is fucking just amazing. He's an icon. He's great. But Reanimator, I think, just gets kind of forgotten and left to the wayside because there are bigger
definitely wasn't as popular
movies. Yeah, you know, Return of the Living Dead, and I would also say, like I said, I'd also say Brain Dead as well. They jump over Reanimator. But though Reanimator for me as well, when I sat down and watched it, I was just like, my God, this is absolutely great.
Yeah.
You know, you got eyes popping right at the beginning. You've got cats coming back to life. You've got zombie or reanimated corpses running all around. You know, the whole dad issue with the fact that his daughter was sleeping with that other guy and now he's being reanimated and stuff like that. It was just great. The decapitated head talking is absolutely stupid.
That Barbara Crampton head.
Yeah, the head shot and the fact that it led to the guy's fucking marriage being destroyed.
Yeah.
Man, I was kind of the same. That's why I wanted to get Alligator out of the way. Because Alligator, I think, is just an absolute benchmark for 80s horror.
For me, it's like, it was the transitional period in my, like, growing up knowing movies from, like, the B-movie, black and white B-movies of the 50s and 60s to Alligator being the big sort of benchmark next to Jaws, obviously, for, like, wanting more of those. And, I mean, it's a franchise, or, sorry, not franchise, but a genre that's still strong today as ever, you know, with all of the CGI monstrosities.
I almost, after I put Alligator down as my first, because like you, I was just like, nobody's really going to give us money to watch Alligator. But then again, people have given us donations for all types of fucking films, so I'm sure it would have come up. I'm hoping Alligator 2 never turns up.
Right, please, don't
Alligator
make us watch
2
that.
is so fucking bad. So bad. But I was also trying to maybe go with like an animal theme for myself this year. And that's what kind of led me into arachnophobia.
Yeah.
Because I love the animal antics of the alligator in Alligator. That the next movie that immediately came to my head was Arachnophobia, with how the spiders moved in that.
Yeah.
And so then part of me was just like, oh, maybe I could try and get like Food of the Gods on the list. You ever seen that? Food of the Gods. It's based on a book, but it's about some people who go to this island and some weird white gunk is coming out from the floor. and they feed these animals, and the animals grow to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, you can't. Back in the day, they couldn't film the animals huge, so they just used real animals and model work.
Okay.
But I just loved how that all kind of coincides with filmmaking. You know, we need to show these animals being absolutely huge, so we'll just make
tiny
really
little
small
miniatures.
Same with the alligator. You know, they had the alligator coming out of plywood floors and stuff like that to attack cars. Part of me also felt like Arachnophobia wasn't really a Halloween movie. It was just a scary animal.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I kind of cheated the system there.
Kind of, but I mean, like eight-legged freaks. I mean, most spider movies have kind of got a comical like tone to them.
Yeah.
Arachnophobia, I mean, it doesn't escape that Spielbergian like world, so it kind of feels safe.
Yeah.
But because arachnophobia is obviously a real phobia, it's arachnophobia. It's something that like almost like 1 out of 3 people experience some form of arachnophobia.
Yeah.
Like creepy crawlies, arachnids, insects, spiders, whatever. They make your skin crawl. They make you uncomfortable because they're tiny, and you know it's the fact that we fear their venom. We fear being poisoned by them. We fear them getting into small places. You know, we have tiny holes on our bodies that they could lay their nests in. You know?
Oh, don't say that.
So it's kind of frightening. And like arachnophobia does it so well by putting them in all of those places that are so mundane and normal.
Yeah.
The shower, the toilet, your cereal bowl, your popcorn bowl. You know, and so it plays on like a primordial deep fear of something tiny being so dangerous as well, and spiders.
Yeah. I just loved as well the technical side of it, of how they got the spiders to move so well, and that there wasn't that much animatronics. They're real spiders. They weren't harmed. The actors and actresses took their time to take care of the animals. I don't think the movie gets praised enough for how it makes you feel about spiders, but also how much care they took in to make sure that spiders weren't harmed after the film was made. Yeah. So talking about harm, I was really quite surprised with your pick of Jeepers Creepers.
Well, again, Jeepers Creepers was not my original choice.
Mm-hmm.
My original choice was a film called May. And I've had the folder on my desktop on previous PCs. That folder has come from one hard drive to another. And I'm like, one day I'll review May. I think in the whole 10 years we've been doing the channel, I think I've used a clip of May twice because Ryan Johnson had a part in it when, like, I think it was Brick, I think was the one that we did.
Yeah.
With Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Like
there was some
I really like Brick.
like link there behind the scenes. So I remember bringing May up then. And I think I've brought it up one other time. I can't remember exactly where.
Yeah.
But it's a horror film about a girl who is just really socially awkward and outcast and a little bit weird. And so, of course, I'm just like, I'm in love. I love you. And she is basically spending the time trying to get a friend. And she's... I don't want to go into some of the details.
Yeah.
But she ends up becoming a bit of a murderer.
Right.
and she ends up making her own friend. But it's just, I love the storytelling, I love the performances, I love the tone, and it's a quirky, weird, offbeat movie that practically no one's ever seen. And so that was why I really wanted to like review it, to share that film with more people that I think might fall in love with her and the film as well. However, I decided, like, May, like, you're a maybe, you're going back on the shelf. We'll talk about you another day properly, because we can't go a week or 2 weeks on the channel without somebody saying, guys, review Jeepers Creepers, please. I've been asking for years now, and I'm like, you have. And I did say years ago on a podcast, like, if we haven't done it yet, just keep asking. And that person must have listened, because they kept asking. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to see that message ever again. So, let's do Jeepers Creepers. On top of that, I really like Jeepers Creepers, and so I figured it's a good enough time as any to do it.
I gotta admit, I gotta thank the audience for their contribution to the numbers for Jeepers Creepers, because obviously we slowly watch the numbers for each one of our film reviews each week, and and then in a way we kind of gauge what people like and what we don't like. It's really hard to establish what people like, because sometimes we have like a really deep thinking, thought provoking, well written film, and the numbers don't go past 2.5K after 3 or 4 months. Yeah, a movie like Jeepers Creepers can come out and all of a sudden it hits 10K within 2 weeks. But primarily, like finding out, like we knew about obviously the background behind the director for Jeepers Creepers.
I'm not even going to say his name.
And I won't either. I can't, mainly because I can't remember it.
I should have just put an image of a piece of shit on the screen.
No.
Because somebody did say I could have done without seeing the image. And
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Me too.
But you know what? I think we did well because we highlighted what he had done.
Yes.
But we didn't dwell on it, and we didn't give him the credit that we normally do with filmmakers when they make
I also, I just wanted to, in the beginning of the video, just go, like, I understand, and I, like, have no qualms with people that go, I cannot make the separation between artist and art.
Oh, yeah.
For me, they're one and the same.
Yeah.
So if the artist is a piece of shit, anything that they've made is by default, therefore not gonna even acknowledge or accept it or entertain it in any way. So I just wanted to get that message out at the beginning of that video, to be like, if you do feel that way, that's fine, that's great. We're sorry that you cannot enjoy this review or that film. I get it, but we're going to acknowledge it and then get to the film.
I now cannot look at Jeepers Creepers without thinking of the creeper as the director.
Everybody does. Because
the audience did that for me. I never saw it before. They highlighted the fact that the creeper doesn't kill any females in the 2 movies.
Yeah, you're right.
Now I can't remember from number 3, and I have not watched number 4 yet. I'm assuming, but I was like, oh my god, yeah, the way he sniffs the male clothes, the way he kind of winks towards some of the football players in the second movie. If you take into account, and I don't mean to dwell on it too much, but if you take into account that the director is who he is, and then he's looking at this creepy character going, oh, well, I want you to sniff him.
Get real close.
Get real close, because this is
the creeper.
You're the creeper, and he's designed the creeper, and he knows how the creeper is, and he's just like, and this is what I want the creeper to do. And I'm like, oh, fuck. You've now fucked your franchise, mate.
Yeah.
I can't. Like, I've watched the film. I enjoyed it. I'm now going to step away and never approach them ever again. If I ever see Jeepers Creepers 2 on TV, I'm sure I can find something else to watch. It's a real shame. It's a real shame.
But yeah, you also, I don't know if you want to elaborate on a point that you made about how you said in the review that the creeper could have been as iconic today as like Art the Clown has quickly become, or next to the other icons of Michael Myers and Jason and Freddy and Pinhead and so on.
Yeah, he could have, because you could have easily just given him such a great backstory, origin points, got more abilities. Maybe there was more than one creeper. The director should never have been able to make another film. It's another slip up of the system that he was able to do what he did, get trialed for it, get imprisoned for it, and then go, hey, I'm going to work with young people again.
Yeah, like he went straight into Powder, I think, for Disney.
Yeah.
As well, and they were just like, oh, we know, but, we know.
But, I mean, it was the early 90s. Not many people knew about... You wouldn't be able to get away...
No internet, no social media,
You won't be able to get away with it now. What needs to happen now is that he just needs to sell the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to sell the idea and distance himself.
That's true.
Away
Richie's
from
just
it.
reminded me that the cat lady dies in the first one. So
He throws her.
Yeah.
He doesn't sniff her.
And the psychic lady.
Psychic lady doesn't die. Psychic lady's still alive. At the end of the movie. And in fairness,
were there any?
Technically, you don't see the cat lady die. You just see her throw it. He doesn't. Snap
What about the
her
female police officer in the cop car?
All right. Okay.
So yeah, he doesn't discriminate gender that much.
No, he doesn't. No, in fairness, yes, he doesn't discriminate gender when it comes to killing.
Yeah.
But Couple of points. One, he never eats female body parts.
Well, I'm guessing it's a male creeper originally.
Yes, we know it's a male creeper. Okay. He never eats female body parts. He kills women, yes, to get to the male target.
Yes, that's true.
He doesn't actually, and it's like somebody else pointed out the fact that he's got wings. How does he regenerate the wings?
By eating little male birds. I don't know. I mean, maybe they just regenerate when he's consuming energy.
Why did he take that boy at the beginning of the second one? What did he need him for? He already had eyes. It's because he's a creeper.
Yeah,
he's an absolute creeper. Next, let's move movie.
Well, Ian, I have to say, like, up until this point, I was like, Ian, you've chose banger after banger. I feel like I've chosen popular, successful cult movies as well.
Yeah.
And then Ian went, back it. The Ward. And I just looked at you like, why would you pick this film when so far we've done films that we recommend, that we want people to know about and talk about?
Because I needed to finish it off for myself.
That's why
I'm an absolute John Carpenter madhead, and I will watch John Carpenter till the day I die.
Yeah.
But The Ward just came and went.
Yep.
When we talk about John Carpenter, The Ward is probably the last movie you'll ever talk about, past Ghosts of Mars.
Yeah.
John Carpenter's Vampires, Dark Star. You know, it doesn't even come close to his top 10, let alone his top 5 best movies of all time. But it's still got his name attached to it. And I'm like, I need to finish it off. You know, once we've done Starman, Dark Star, Vampires, and
we haven't done the Elvis one.
Ghost of Mars. Elvis is more TV.
Well, I mean, if we're doing his entire filmography.
We're doing his entire filmography.
I'd say The Ward wasn't really a theatrical film, it was more DVD as well.
Yeah, but once we've done them all, we would have to still do The Ward. And I thought, rip
the Band-Aid off and get rid of that one now.
Yeah, this is the best time. Plus, I had to pick a film from, the 2000 era.
Yeah, which Carpenter had not done much then.
Yeah,
so.
And there wasn't many great movies for me to pick out at that time anyway. You know, like when we talk about series, like we've already done the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we've also done Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, we would have to reformulate a whole Halloween series to be able to do 2, 3, 4, the next generation.
Yeah.
You know, the remake, and then whatever other movies. So I was sitting there and I was just umming and ahhing, and I looked at it and I was like, man, I'd love to do a John Carpenter movie.
Yeah. It's not Halloween without John Carpenter.
Without John Carpenter, and I can't fit the other ones in, but The Ward fits in. It's a horror movie. You know, it wasn't until I hit play that I was like, oh yeah, it's Amber Heard.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. But it was also really easy to follow. You know, there wasn't any... It wasn't It
was a film that we'd pretty much already seen before.
I've seen it like a million times. But it wasn't like we weren't drowning in gore and buckets of blood that made no sense. And we weren't getting hit with jump scares and noise pincers every 2 fucking seconds. Or, you know, the flashy editing like they have in Final Destination or Saw or stuff like that. It was just really easy. And because it was Carpenter... You're just like, oh, this is so easy to follow. I'm not going to recommend it hugely, but if you've got an hour and a half, you know, you can sit and enjoy yourself for an hour and a half.
Yeah. Bit of trivia for you that I didn't actually bring up in the video.
Oh, right, yeah.
It was only when I was editing The Ward that I realised, like, does anybody know who Sydney Sweeney is by any chance?
Oh, yeah. She's... Oh, isn't she from Strange Things?
No.
Was she the ginger one?
No.
Oh. I don't know
she is in Euphoria.
Oh, right, okay.
She's been in a bunch of films lately, a couple of horror films, but she's well known for her assets.
Oh, yeah,
She flaunts them quite voluptuously,
Oh, right.
openly in her dresses. She was in Madam Web earlier in the year.
All right, yeah.
But she is like a very attractive
Wasn't
lady.
she the little girl?
She was
in
the little girl in the ward who
Yeah.
played the young version
Yeah.
of Amber Heard. So yeah, it was only when I was editing, I was like, there was an angle on her face, on like her nose and cheek, and I was
Yeah.
like, you're a little girl, but you look familiar. And I was like, I'll go to IMDb, and it was like Sydney Sweeney. I was like, oh my god, that was you.
I recognise your chin because it sits above your cleavage, and that's where I look.
But yeah, like I didn't realize that Sydney Sweeney was acting in roles, and at the same time, I'm like, Sydney Sweeney got her start acting in a Carpenter movie. So
Nice.
I was like, great that she's still doing horror. Great, she's got a wonderful figure. She's flaunting herself.
Yeah.
But I was like, I would like to see her though do a more dramatic role. I've just not watched her outside of Euphoria.
You don't watch her anywhere up from.
It's hard to. I'm simple man, and she's got some power.
He's just a simple kind of man. Yeah. Right, and then we got into the 2000s, and this was getting a little, I wouldn't say difficult, but we're like, you had to pick something good.
I knew straight away what I wanted to do.
Oh, you did. You did.
Cabin in the Woods. I was like, there's no exception. It's like, this has to be done.
Yeah.
This is like the holy grail of horror movies for us. Like, it's filled with witticisms, characters, writing, the like whiteboard of monsters.
Yeah.
It's enough to freeze frame it and have a 5-hour conversation about all the monsters in it. The cubes of all the creatures, the behind the scenes, Sigourney Weaver, Joss Whedon.
I was worried that name, I thought we were going to get hit with just as much as we did with Jeepers Creepers, knowing that it was Joss Whedon. But he only produced.
Yes, and co-wrote.
Yeah.
But I mean, he wasn't like, He's not been charged, as far as I'm aware, with sexual allegations, but with just being a dick. And on top of that, I think I can't remember who it was. It was either Charisma Carpenter or James Masters that said that Joss was not allowed to be left in a room with a young Michelle Trachtenberg for reasons. I'm like, that's curious. But yeah, the way Joss, it's definitely the way Joss treated Charisma Carpenter. Which was like the real thing. And then it was, a lot of people came out and just said that Joss was a bully on set. And because Joss is incredibly well educated and he is a wordsmith and he can structure sentences and he can belittle you and make you feel pathetic, tiny and small with just a few well-placed words. He is a monster in that in his intelligence, and so that's what has really gotten to people, is how horrible he is verbally.
I feel like
can be, but I mean, this is like, I've never seen Joss. I've never seen that side of Joss.
I've never seen it. I've
listened to hours of his commentary tracks, and he sounds fun and smart.
Yeah, but
so when you hear that, you're like,
when you're behind the camera and you're in charge of a series and a franchise and you're going for, I feel like, particularly with the Buffy stuff, like Joss Whedon was, he had ideas for the shows, and then the show went in a certain direction that he wasn't ready for, which was putting the strength in Sarah Michelle Gellar's hands.
Yeah.
She was the absolute fucking star. And so he had to work with her. Now, she's a young and upcoming star, and so she obviously jumps on the bandwagon with Alison Hannigan and Xander Harris, Brendan... Xander, yeah. And
is it Harris? No, that's his name.
Yeah,
Xander Harris.
And so the three of them become a unit, which then he has to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Charisma Carpenter is your side character that he could have dropped, but all of a sudden Angel's coming along. He, Whedon is wanting to do well with 2 shows underneath his belt. So then he's got Charisma Carpenter, and he's wanting her to be like Sarah Michelle Gellar's character. But Sarah Michelle, she's gone off and she's making movies at the same time as doing Buffy. So she's establishing herself. So is Alison Hannigan.
Yeah.
He can't belittle them. Because if he does and he loses his stars, he loses his show.
Yeah.
We already know, like, Charisma Carpenter, she went off and she got pregnant and he didn't want her to.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't tell your people what they can and can't do in their own personal lives. You're just going to have to work and adapt it.
Yeah.
It's not your fault that your shows aren't getting the backing that they should get from the TV execs.
Because they misunderstand what it is that they've got that they're producing.
Exactly.
Hence the Firefly cancellation and stuff.
Josh wants one thing, the execs want another, and the audience wants something completely different.
Yeah.
And I personally, I think it got to a point where he was under a lot of pressure. It was good that it was all taken away from him because everybody was able to leave and go, look, okay, let's walk away.
Yeah. But I mean, Joss, like, I'll forever remember, I'm pretty sure it was Joss Whedon who said this as a quote. And it's something I've always loved.
Yeah.
And it was like, in terms of what to give the audience. And he said, always give the audience what they need, never what they want.
Yeah.
And like that mythos, that ethos for him going into everything was just so smart. Like, he just knew characters and the storytelling so well. So I miss Joss Whedon produced written stuff. Like, I got a bit sick of it with the Avengers because after Avengers 1 and 2, like, every Marvel movie felt like it had to be in the style of a Joss Whedon script, even though he was not attached to it anymore.
Yeah.
It just felt like it just ran for 10 years within the Marvel universe, feeling like it was echoing Joss, but of course it just wasn't, and so it just got weaker and weaker and sillier, and then Taika Waititi just kind of did what he did.
But then you got people like James Gunn as well. I feel like James Gunn is a young Josh Whedon doing what he did.
He's come from, the Tromaville.
Yeah.
So, like, he's bringing all of that energy to it,
but it's
which
like,
is wild and inventive and crazy.
I'm bringing that, and I'm going to bring Nathan Fillion along with me. And it's like, yes, make every film with fucking Nathan Fillion. But going back, sorry, we completely deterred off with Josh Whedon there.
Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods, like we said, it was so surprising when that came out because, Thor just come out, so we knew who Chris Hemsworth was.
Yeah.
But he's coming out in this movie. All of the monsters, which were absolutely...
Wasn't he also in Star Trek reboot as Kirk's dad? Was that him? No, that was Chris... No, Chris Pine played Kirk.
Chris Pine played Kirk.
Who played his dad in that film?
Somebody else.
Yeah, somebody else.
I don't think it was Hemsworth.
Hemsworth, no.
It could have been the other Hemsworth because there's lots of Hemsworths.
Liam? No, it wasn't him.
There's a couple of Hemsworths going around.
It was him.
Was it? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's in Star Trek as well, but he was only in it for like
5 minutes. Yeah.
5 minutes, and he saved a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But it was just the idea that we took what we knew about horror movies, much like Scream had done, almost 10, 15 years before, and turned it on its head. We know what happens when 5 teens go to a cabin in the woods.
We've seen it 1,000 times.
We know what happens if they go in the basement and they find a special thing. But what we don't know is that the government is behind it all, and it's actually a worldwide thing going on to keep the human race going by sacrificing young people to the ancient ones, which then makes you look at all the other horror movies that have come before, and you're like, my God, this is what they've been doing every year. Like this year's versions was Terrifier and The Substance. They needed to kill
I've
people.
got to say, the villains won in every film this year.
But that's good. That means that we get to live for another year.
Yes, the sequels, bring them on.
Like you said, Sigourney Weaver appearing at the end of Cabin in the Woods was just amazing. The workers, the factory men down beneath, oh man, I really wish I'd seen a merman.
Right, well, he did.
Yeah, I thought it was a great pick.
I always loved the behind the scenes that Heather Langenkamp was behind the scenes there as well.
Oh, really?
She married the guy after Wes Craven's New Nightmare, the guy who did the effects.
Yeah.
She married him, and she's kind of been behind the scenes with him while he does effects. So
Wow.
she was there, like, watching all of this unfold.
Nice.
So yeah, it's only when you watch the behind the scenes that you see her there, and you're like, oh, there's Sigourney Weaver and Heather Langenkamp. Like,
if she's married to him, why did she turn up in that shitty Hellraiser movie?
Maybe he did the effects on it too, like, as a favour on the cheap, maybe. So
God.
she got a role offered. The landlady.
But anyway, my pick as well for the 2000s or late 2000s was Hereditary.
I never expected you to pick this.
I needed to.
And when you did, I was like, oh, fuck. I don't want to watch it again.
I needed to tick it off my list.
Let alone do a thorough analysis of it.
Yeah. I'd seen Midsummer, And I'd always been kind of in love with Hereditary and Midsommar because
You like Toni Collette a lot.
I liked them, but I also, when I read the plot, they just had depth. And that's what I like about my horror movies nowadays. It's like, I don't care how much gore you have in it. I don't care how many times you try to jump scare me. Just give me a story. A start, a middle, and an end that when I turn the film off, I'm scared.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared to turn the film off because it still lingers with me.
Yeah.
I don't want, if I'm turning the horror off as soon as the credits start and I'm not even listening to the music, then you failed because I don't care.
Yeah.
And the movie's just over. With Hereditary, I was afraid to turn it off because I thought I was going to hear that cluck noise. It was just on me. Just, it was so well filmed. The model work was so great. I'd wikied it like 3 times before I even sat down and watched it. Not in one session, but over the years. So I knew what was coming over and over. But man, when she hits her head on that pole and he continues driving and the camera just stays on him, and then he goes and he climbs in the bed, and I'm thinking, oh, it's going to cut. It's going to cut. It's going to cut. Oh my God, she's getting up. Oh my God, she's screaming. Oh my God, she found the body.
Oh God, it's all done from the close-up on Peter's face
man.
while the audio is playing out around you. It's, again, your imagination's painting the picture. You don't need to see the body in the backseat of the car, but your brain did.
Yeah.
It was a great choice, Ian, but yeah, it was probably the toughest one of the year to watch. Because I needed it, that was the film I spent even more time with compared to any of the others. To like, after the film was finished, I was like, take me a moment, write my initial thoughts down, and then it's like, right, back to the film, hit play, pause, play, pause, play, pause, watch that sequence, then looking at the color coding and the editing and everything else. I was like, man, like, just no wonder there are essays on this film. Ari Aster, like, where the hell did you come from, man? Like, and then he followed it up with Midsommar, and you're like, okay, it may have a lot of similarities. It's definitely like a sibling child to Hereditary.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what is he going to do next? Can he keep hitting, like, because it's I mean, Hereditary came out at a really good time when horror, like I mentioned this before, maybe in conversation or in a podcast, but Red Letter Media came out recently, and they pretty much said, like Blumhouse cinema, people are kind of rejecting it a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like, their numbers are still good, but that's because they make their films so cheap. And they make like 4 times their budget back.
Oh, totally,
but they're just releasing PG, bloodless movies and that don't have much depth or substance to them. Whereas Hereditary came out and it went, we're a drama first and foremost. Mm-hmm. And the horror is the drama. The horror is the reality. The horror is these characters and their lives at this moment in time. And then the horror ramps up the more the film goes on and you realize about the supernatural, the cult, the demons, and other stuff. But for the most part, it's a family breaking down and falling apart. That's the real, like, horror as well. Yeah. And so that's what I liked about Hereditary, is that it was such a jolt of energy into the horror genre today, to just go, okay, we can go back to make these really solid tentpole kind of horror movies that I'm glad did reach such a hype, I suppose, that everybody knew and talked about it. Even though some people found, like, Toni Collette banging her head on the thing kind of funny. Again, I kind of go, that's a natural response, because you are horrified and you need a laugh to stop it being so horrifying. But I so respect Hereditary for just going, let's bring horror back again. Let's prove that we can still tell original haunting stories with great actors.
It's like what you said, though. It's like, I get what people are saying about Blumhouse movies being quite weak and watered down, but there's a market for it. They're like, I'd still like gateway horror for younger generations. That's what I was going to say. There's a market for audience members, because you might say to your partner, I really want to watch this horror, but they don't do horror.
Sure. Yeah.
And so you sit them down and you go, okay, let's watch Megan or The Conjuring or Paranormal Activity. Let's let's watch The Purge or that movie and that movie, which has the jump scares and is quite weak. But each one of those movies makes something like Hereditary so good, because Hereditary doesn't need sequels.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need any attachments to the real
yeah.
world. It's also self-contained. And the director, and like I said, I don't like going back to him, but I'm not trying to badmouth him, but unlike the director for, say, Terrifier, who has come up with an original idea and is making a shit ton of money off of it, it's going to burn out too quickly. Where Ari Aster has gone, all right, okay, I've made Hereditary, one and done. I could just do anything else, but I'm now going to hit you with Midsummer. You know, Midsummer for me is like a modern day Wicker Man.
Yeah.
You know, and I loved it, but that's what scared me even more to go back and watch Hereditary, because I was like, man, if this is what he did for Midsummer, then what did he do for Hereditary? And so when I did sit down and I was watching it, like you said, all the details in the background, like he must have plied over those fucking shots for hours before he turned the camera on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
it's well thought out.
Well thought out. Like Tony Collette, Sixth Sense, Krampus, Hereditary, boom, right there. That's a fucking night for you.
Yeah, that's a trilogy of movies.
That's a trilogy of fucking 3 really great movies, all starring Tony Collette, who plays a great mum role in all 3 movies, and yet all 3 movies are terrifying. like, this isn't me. I'm not making this shit up. Like, you go watch Sixth Sense and tell me that that's not a great movie.
Yeah.
You watch Krampus at Christmas time and go, man, that was a great Christmas movie.
Hell yeah.
You know?
Do a rewatch this year.
And then go, if you can, go watch Hereditary.
Just take deep breaths.
Yeah, like, was it?
Well, that brings us on to our final review. Now, we are now heading into the 2020s, and we did, like I said, want to do 10 videos, and the 9th video, which would have been airing today as of this live recording, and the one that on the chopping block for us was Evil Dead Rise.
Yes.
That being said, that's still on the cards. It's still on our to-do list.
Yes.
It's just we ran out of time. We were exhausted when we got to our 10th video, because we definitely knew that was going to be the one that goes up on Halloween. So we'll do that one, and then we'll see how we fare after that. And when we got that one done and in the bag, we were like, we're
It's
out.
over.
We're done. We're done. It doesn't matter if we've done 9. Like it still required the same amount of energy as doing 10 videos, because at least like when we do the franchises, as we do the first 2 movies, we're so excited and enthusiastic.
Yeah.
They're usually good films. Once you hit 3, 4, and 5, you're just like this. You're just watching a cash cow get milked to death. Like the quality bottoms out so much.
The continuity is dead.
Exactly, and there's not much left to talk about.
No.
Whereas when we did this, we were enthusiastic and excited about every single one. So it kind of used up more of that energy, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, and we really did save a lot of energy, I feel, for our final review, which will be airing, of course, on Halloween, and that is Saw 10.
Yeah.
To make sure that we also stay up to date with that franchise of recordings, knowing that Saw 11 will be next year.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want to spoil the review too much, obviously, because we want everybody to watch it. But we were sat there looking at it and going, we need to do Saw X. And then we were both looking at each other like, do we even really want to do Saw X? And it's just like, well, yeah, we should. Like we said, we wanted to do Evil Dead Rise more. Yeah. Because obviously we love the Evil Dead series. But it just felt after doing the Saw series last year that we're like, let's get Saw X done.
It goes in part with how we've done like a Halloween film each year. So we're kind of concluding, we're kind of catching up.
We're kind of slowly catching up with ourselves.
Yeah.
But you should totally check it out on Thursday. If you haven't watched Saw X before and you're going to, then I suggest you do.
Okay.
If you don't, if you're absolutely not interested in watching the Saw series of movies, don't. Okay. Because, man, After Spiral, man. Spiral was just a slap in the fucking face. I just wanted it to end. And then they went, we're making another Saw movie. And I was like,
Well, at least
right.
it isn't a Spiral sequel.
At least it's not a Spiral sequel, that's for sure. But then part of me was like,
because Tobin Bell is still alive,
Yeah,
and we can get at least 10 more movies out of him before he goes.
just put
Bless
a cap
him.
on him backwards.
I don't know. I enjoy seeing more of the almost the behind the scenes of the Saw like villains
Yeah.
actually working together on designing and choosing who they're going to put in traps. So we only ever get to see the villains really of Saw in flashbacks. For the most part, like their collaborative moments are all in flashback.
Yeah.
So actually having full scenes of them together is something that I hope to see again in like Saw 11 and 12 and 13. And by the time we get to Saw 14, by then like the Spiral story will intertwine and
They're gonna make a Saw movie, and it's gonna be the guy who invented that Saw thing that the guy used to cut Tobin Bell's throat in the third movie.
right.
And there's gonna be a whole trap set up about getting him in there, being punished for making that drill that killed Saw. You know, there'll be another one where Tobin.
How do you end this franchise now?
You don't.
Like-
You just end up punishing all the people that upset Jigsaw. Like,
Hoffman lives.
yeah, Hoffman's gonna live.
I mean, he's still alive.
And Jigsaw's it's gonna be a flashback in Saw 13. The whole movie is gonna be based around the guy who got Tobin Bell's coffee order wrong one morning.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Mr. Barista. Do you want to play a little game? I asked you for a mocha latte latte, and you gave me a soft one with fucking some weirdy kind of milk in it. Now you got to play the game. There's going to be all the different customers that they come across during the film.
Yeah. I'll watch it.
Yeah, true. We watched
Tobin
those.
Bell's in it.
We watch those people on that shotgun merry-go-round. We'll fucking watch any of it. Anything that keeps us away from Amityville fucking series.
Yes.
And evil bongs.
Yes, but I do want to do the Puppet Master series at one point.
Yeah,
but again, Red Letter Media just beat us to it.
Puppet
So,
Master series.
but we'll do it. We'll do it anyway.
Oh, we got many ideas. I mean, I've always still liked to go back and just do all the black and white Universal monster movies.
Yeah, that's definitely on the cards. Yeah.
I definitely would like to do like even though we've done a lot of remakes, like we've done The Fly and we've done The Blob, I would have loved to have done
The originals as
the
well.
originals along with their corresponding whichever remake that they've gone and done.
Yeah.
There's so many witch, werewolf, zombies, Frankenstein monster type of movies to do.
Yep. And they're always making more werewolves this
That's
Christmas.
There's like a plethora of Italian and Asian horror movies that we haven't even touched on yet that people say are groundbreaking for their times, but nobody ever talks about nowadays because they're lost in the fucking shadows. We've still got the entire Subspecies series to do if we want to.
Hell yeah! I'm always down for more Full Moon productions. Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Alrighty, well that's going to conclude our, I guess, behind the scenes
Yes.
of why we chose those films this Halloween. So hopefully you enjoyed listening to, I guess, those anecdotes.
Yeah, and
those
if you haven't
choices.
watched them, go and watch the films. And
Oh,
if
hell
not,
yeah.
Go watch the reviews because that's why we made them.
Right. Alrighty, well we're going to take another short break, but when we come back, we'll be answering your questions.
Yes. Boom.
And welcome back to the third part of the podcast where we will be answering your questions.
Woohoo!
And firstly, over to you, Ian, as you have all
Yes.
of the Facebook questions.
I have all the Facebook questions. Thank you, everybody, for putting your questions out on Facebook. Sorry for those of you who normally put out questions and didn't see the post. I wasn't really going to put one out because we were trying to organize the podcast to get together, the timing, all that kind of stuff. It seemed a bit rushed to put out a link on the Facebook, but I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I got a bunch of questions, so thank you. As normal, obviously, it goes out for announcements as well. Maybe you've got a birthday coming up, or, you just want us to shout you out on something positive because you want to be appreciated and shouted out that you're awesome. So, you know,
You are
if not,
awesome.
Awesome, you're all awesome. But first question comes from Cassandra Forward. What up,
Yo, Cassandra?
Hey guys, just want to wish you all a happy Halloween. Hope you're all well. My question is, what was your favorite horror movie and why for Halloween this year? Take care, from Weevil.
Yo, Weevil. I think it's obvious that The Substance is my horror pick of the season.
Yes.
And it might very well be my horror pick of the year, The Substance. So yeah. And happy Halloween.
Yeah. I mean, like, I want to say The Substance as well, even though I haven't watched it, but from the impression I get from it, it's really original, really unique, but also very relatable with the story that it's trying to tell in it. I think it's really, really great. I'm going to use our favorite from our Halloween series that we picked, and my favorite horror movie from that series, I want to say Hereditary, because it's just really well done. But
it's Return of the Living Dead 3, isn't it? Obviously.
Well, no, because that was your pick. Mine would be Return of the Living Dead Part 2, because it's the better sequel. But I want to go with Alligator.
Nice.
Just because
Robert Forster.
Robert Forster,
Giant alligator.
Giant alligator, and the slow motion dream sequence.
Yeah.
The guy kind of falls down and gets dragged along. That's fucked up. Next question is from Marcus Back.
Yo, Marcus.
What up, Marcus? Has any of you played the Silent Hill 2 remake?
Yes, extensively, and I'm not done with it yet. I've got 2 more endings to get. I think it's the Rebirth and the Stillness ending that I'm gunning for next, and then maybe another playthrough after that on hard mode, and I don't want to say it in case I do it, like hard puzzle mode. I don't know if my brain can take it.
It's going to need a notepad.
But I actually felt smart playing Silent Hill 2 Remake, because I actually solved 95% of the puzzles without looking at a guide.
Nice.
So I felt like I was solving the puzzles, and there's some nice numerical ones, visual ones, like riddles, and poem ones that I was just like, yeah, I'm digging these puzzles. And I also, one of the things that I really liked about it was how, in comparison to the original game, your route through the locations, like, it feels like, I mean, that in of itself, like, there is a zone called the Labyrinth, but like the Woodside Apartments, the hotel, the hospital, they all feel like labyrinths anyway, especially in the original game, and you're constantly backtracking and checking every door, whereas I felt in the remake, once you've solved a puzzle or picked up a key item, there was always a latch on a door that you could open and shortcut your way back to where you were.
Yeah.
So it feels like they streamlined, and they intended for you to just take one route through the entire zone.
Yeah.
And it's only if you missed an item or missed a door that you end up then backtracking and wandering around the same locations again to figure out what it was that you missed. But you can usually tell you've missed something if you get to a door with a catch that opens up to an area you're going back to. It usually means you probably forgot something behind you.
Yeah.
So I really liked that as well, on top of the sound design, the visuals, the combat, the voice acting, everything. I like, go back to the beginning of the podcast where I've really talked about it. But
he loved it.
I loved it.
He loved it. I haven't played it yet, but I'm sure I'll get to it. But I'm pretty sure it's pretty much like the other Silent Hill 2, so I'm not worried. I can wiki it.
Sure.
The next question is from Natalie Hobart.
Yo,
what up,
Natalie?
Hello, my kittens. Hope you're all well. A friend of mine is dying, so no random question from me. Just a gentle reminder to hug your loved ones, tell your friends that they're awesome, and to enjoy life. Loving the extra reviews for Halloween, gents. They are keeping me smiling.
Really sorry to hear that, Natalie.
You're awesome, and hope you enjoy life. That's what she said. So
yeah. You're awesome. Keep living, dude, and keep kicking ass.
Thanks.
That goes for all
you're
of you too.
Awesome too, and you, Natalie. You know.
Yeah, it sucks that you're going through a rough time. I hope you've got close ones around you. Help you through those difficult times.
Yes.
It's rough. Hang in there, though, Natalie. You're awesome as well.
We all need quiet moments in our life. I had this recently where I was just like, man, I'm just jumping through hoop after hoop after hoop after hoop, get all this stuff done. I need just 5 days to myself to step back and then have quietness. And then what was really nice is that while I was doing that, I had loads of people ringing me and messaging me like, dude, what's wrong? You're so quiet. What's going on? And I'm just like, just
Time out.
Yeah,
Taking a time out.
In fairness, it was more of an avalanche of that happening to me than the week before. I was like, whoa. Just, I know I'm always on the go, and it's good to be on the go, but I need a moment, okay? Because I've just dealt with a lot, and if I keep going, I'm going to end up punching somebody. I mean, I remember even saying to Gary that week, like, I'm not coming over because I'm in such a bad mood. I don't want to ruin your mood.
Sure. I was like, you know what? I appreciate that too.
Thanks. Just come back when you're not so pissed off. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Man, if we'd done this podcast like 2 weeks ago, I'd have just walked out. I just fucking walked out before the middle section.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good. Like I said, sometimes you need moments to yourself. Sometimes you need other people around you.
Self-love, self-care. Love yourself before you can help anybody else. Because you cannot.
The next question's from David Allen Evans.
Yo, David.
What up, David? Hey, gents. Bit of a weird question.
Uh-oh.
Has a moment from a movie got you really emotional out of nowhere? My example was my last viewing of Jason and the Argonauts. I can't explain why, but the fight with the Hydra's children at the end just started making me choke up. Seen the flick a ton of times and it hadn't happened before. Think it may be something to do with the ingenuity of the sequence and how it still works after all these years, but not sure. Hope I made sense. Keep on keeping on.
Yeah, I mean, I've never gone back to an older film and got emotional like that. I tell you what, like, it was the Dark Crystal Netflix like series. Like I wept almost uncontrollably. I wasn't like heaving like I guess you call it ugly crying or anything. I was just like weeping tears of absolute joy of seeing that level of artistry in puppetry, in miniatures, in costumes, in voice acting.
Yes.
I was just so in love with that production. I'm still really pissed off that did not get to continue. So that was a more modern, I guess, reaction to the artistry of the making of for me in recent stuff. But yeah, like Jason and the Argonauts, like is obviously my brother's called Jason. I remember my dad introducing that movie to me and my brother. And yeah, we were floored. Like, we were playing games like Hero Quest and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, like, seeing skeletons animated in such a way, and and it kind of made skulls look really menacing and evil. Like, those skeletons have got like a deathly intent behind those sockets when they're fighting those, like Jason
kind of
in the last
smiling.
two. Yes, they are.
Kind of smiling.
So like the craftsmanship in it is special. It really, really is awesome, and never to be forgotten. On top of all the other work that they've done, like but the fight with those skeletons, like the moment when he's dropping the Hydra's teeth, and the skeletons are just coming up out of the ground, beautiful. And it still looks amazing today, especially when you know the limitations of the time as well. I do also think, I do recommend, like on YouTube, somebody has like upped the frame rate and like smoothed out the animation.
Oh, wow, okay.
So it looks modern. And like, I'm like, you know what? I really like seeing it like a higher frame rate with smoother animation, but there's something uncanny about those bones moving in stop motion that makes them even feel really alive. So I kind of like both versions. But yeah, like, wow, great question.
The last movie I kind of got a little bit emotional with was Alien 3. Because this year, I mean, if you've been following the show, following the podcast, where I work at the weekends, we have our own kind of little cinema screen there. And luckily, as a member of staff, I'm able to book the cinema screen for myself for free. Which I do quite a lot after I finish work. I'll just go, I finished work, I'm going to go watch a film. And I go and do that. And so this year I've been able to watch a lot of my favorite movies on the big screen. And that I wouldn't be able, like a couple of weekends ago, it was 70th anniversary of Godzilla.
Nice.
And so I watched the original 1954 Godzilla movie on the big screen. And when I pressed play on that DVD, before I'd even got to my seat, you heard the boom, 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 boom. The music kicked in. I'm like, oh fuck me, this is better than any of the modern day fucking Godzilla movies. It really just hits you with its presence right from the start. But I was able to watch Alien 3 on the big screen, just the theatrical version. I knew I could watch the assembly whenever I wanted, but for me, it was a chance just to watch the original theatrical Alien 3 on the big screen. Nobody bothering me, just me. I was like 15 again, you know, and I was watching Alien 3 and I was reminding myself at one point, this was it. They weren't making any more Alien movies after this. Alien 3 already had such a bad press before the movie released. They were already writing off Alien 3 ever doing any other help for the franchise ever again. We never knew what would come after that. But I'm watching the film and it's getting through. And like I said, if you're watching the theatrical, there's a lot of things cut out. A lot of things that you miss. And so you're missing a lot of the story goodness. But that final bit where she drops into the lava and the music crescendos and Bishop's like, no! And you're like, yeah, she's killing off the xenomorph.
Last specimen.
The
The last one.
specimen. And it starts going through the prison and the doors are all being locked and Morse is being walked off. And you start to hear the last remnants of the message playing through the EEV.
Yeah.
This is Ripley, last arrived at the Nostromo, signing off, and it comes up just going end transmission. And I watched it on the big screen.
Yeah.
End transmission. And then the music kicked in, and I was just like, God.
They're all dead.
That really just, you know, it really was just such a fucking great production. I mean, I did a whole fucking podcast review about why Alien 3 was so good. It was just such a good production. I was like, I'm so glad it didn't end there. I'm kind of glad that we have got what we have after, because it hasn't, personally for me, it hasn't beaten Alien 3 or those first three movies.
Since has, yeah.
Those first three movies are just
yeah, perfection. Matched only by the hostility of the sequels.
You have my sympathies if you watch
if you
them.
watch anything past Alien 3.
If you watch it.
I can't lie to you about your chances.
I like you about your chances, but you have my sympathies. We're going to blow up the series. We're going to take all of the things that the fans are putting in it, and we're going to blow it the fuck up. So, the next question's from Paul Atherton.
Yo,
what
Paul.
up, Paul? Hey, guys. Happy Halloween. No doubt you'll be doing something spooktacular and watching horrors at your own pleasure. You're doing a marvellous job. I understand how busy you both get. It's understandable, but you're doing a grand job as always. Looking forward to more reviews and the hectic Christmas podcast. He didn't put a full stop or a comma in that whole bit there.
That's a good job. He took a deep breath.
Saw Venom 3 yesterday. Was a bit disappointed. Don't know what you guys thought of it. If you've watched it, love you guys. Keep up the awesome work.
I mean, but that's what I heard about every Venom film, and I kind of low-key like them. So I don't think they're great by any means, but I really like Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, and I like Venom, and I like that it's kind of gory and dark, and it's it's junk food cinema.
Yeah.
And I get a thrill out of those films. I couldn't really tell you anything about them, but I've enjoyed them. Well, yeah, it had
Woody Harrelson in it.
Woody Harrelson, which was great, and I remember the church, and I remember the shit being everywhere.
Yeah,
but I couldn't tell you any of the details. All I know is I enjoyed them while they were on. Disposable, forgettable, but entertaining for the duration. So
yeah,
I'm not in a rush to get to the cinema to see the third one. I might wait until it's available on streaming and stuff.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I never wanted to watch any of the Venom movies, but my wife, who I love, goes and buys these movies, and so then I'm like, okay, I need to watch them, so then I can honestly say to people what I liked and what I didn't like and what it was in comparison to the sequels. People don't like having those conversations with me. They just want to say, oh, I liked it, and leave it as that. But I'm like, well, that's fine. I didn't like it, and these are the reasons why. Venom 3 I'm not watching in the cinema. I'm going to wait for it to come out on DVD, and then I'll watch it at home. If the wife doesn't buy it, I won't ever watch it. No, fuck it, I'll wiki it.
Right.
I'll wiki it. I'm not bothered about it. In fact, actually, funny enough, it's been shown in India, and YouTube managed to get copies of some shots. So I watched the ending.
What, of Venom?
Of
3?
Venom Last Dance.
Oh, wow.
I've seen how it ends before I've even wikied it. So yeah, stick that in your Ian, you wikied it. YouTube fucked it for me first. What do you want me to do? Not go on YouTube? I fucking work on there. It's not my fault YouTube's algorithm goes, hey, guess what?
Here's the Venom 3 ending.
Yeah, here's the ending to that new film that's out that nobody's gonna watch. So yeah, I'll get round to it. So next question is from Stephen Sloan.
Yo, Stephen.
What up, Stephen? Hi, guys. Hope you're all well. Most people will say Goodfellas or Raging Bull if asked about De Niro's best film. Me, personally, it's Midnight Run. But there is one film from De Niro that I've never heard mentioned, and it's Night and the City from 1992. De Niro plays an ambulance-chasing, fast-talking lawyer who decides to organise a fight night. He takes a loan from a local gangster, and as expected, the shit hits the fan. Everything you can think of goes wrong. I think De Niro is just amazing in this film. He's like a New York Dale boy, the gift of the gab. The film is packed with a brilliant cast from Jessica Lange, Cliff Gorman, Jack Warden, Alan King, and it's directed by Irwin Winkler. If you guys haven't seen it, then I implore you to watch it. You won't be disappointed. Though I think his question was hidden in there of, what do you think is De Niro's... What is your favourite De Niro movie off the top of your head?
The first one that comes to mind is Cape Fear.
Nice.
Followed by Casino.
Ooh, nice.
Um,
That's about it. You can just go with those two.
no, and then Angel Heart. So those are my three. Those are my three.
Nice.
Off the top of my head.
My three...
But that film you mentioned, what was the title of that again?
It was called Night and the City from
Night
1992.
and the City from 1992. I've never heard of it.
I'm wikiing that shit.
But I might track that down actually. I like Jessica Lange as well. So
Jessica Lange,
I'm interested. Yeah.
I was actually gonna say like I really like him in Casino.
Oh yeah, Heat, of course, Heat. Another
Casino is great. Heat is great. I would have to say I'm a bit different to everybody. I kind of really like The Irishman.
Okay. Yeah.
I really like The Irishman because I like young De Niro, same as I like young Pacino and young Pesci. But as they get older, the fact that they're still able to, I think De Niro more than the other two is able to still hold his own in these roles. Much like I thought he was funny as fucking Bad Grandpa.
I didn't watch it.
Was it Bad Grandpa? Yeah, with Zac Efron, where he's, or is that the Johnny Knoxville one?
That's what I'm thinking of. It's the Knoxville thing.
But there was the one with Zac Efron where he's the grandpa character, and he just wants to let loose of his life a little bit, and he's just willing on. There's this whole sequence with him and Aubrey Plaza, and Aubrey Plaza's just dirty, foul mouth, complete slut in it. She's amazing, and it's De Niro coming back and forth, and the fact that Aubrey Plaza can hold her own against De Niro as De Niro is being kind of splattered with all these foul mouth kind of insults. Same with Meet the Fockers. I was really surprised when Meet the Fockers came out that he was so funny.
Yeah, but I think he worked because he has cemented himself as cinema tough guy for 2 decades or more.
Yeah.
Then doing comedy where he's still playing the exact same tough guy.
Yeah.
It works in a comedy setting perfect.
I am interested because I still haven't seen it though. I want to watch that one. I think it's called Hide and Seek.
I've not seen that.
I think it's him and what's her face? Dakota Fanning? I think it's Dakota Fanning. Okay. I could be wrong. But he plays a dad, and she's always talking about this friend who keeps appearing and doing nasty shit.
Okay.
And spoilers, intriguing, whatever. I think it's from the early 2000s. De Niro is playing 2 identities, shall we say.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
So that's pretty good. We could talk De Niro
I've not heard of that
for
one.
fucking hours.
Yeah.
I have another thing from Gaz Hogg, but if you have Facebook, and not a lot of people have nowadays because it's 2024 and Facebook is dying like the Titanic's death. Gaz Hogg on our Facebook page has put up a diorama that he's created of the Predator jungle with some models that he's got. So if you get a chance, go on there, give him some likes, give him some love so that he can
It's a pretty cool diorama,
It's
actually.
pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I could stick the poster in Discord, but we're busy. The next question is from Josh Del Monte.
Yo, Josh.
What up, Josh? Now, I have to put this out here, Josh. If you're listening to this, please start with a question.
Oh, dear.
Because I read some of your things and I'm like, I'm not entirely sure if he started writing a question, got sidetracked, and then forgot to put the question, or if he just got sidetracked and there's just no questions. But stay with me, because this is like a wiki page. It's the season favorite film set on Halloween? ? I'm not sure with mine, but I can give you a few examples with films set in or around Halloween. I'm assuming he's asking what our favorite film is for Halloween.
Sure, yeah.
The Crow is meant to be set at the end of October, and Devil's Night, I think, might be a representation of Halloween. It's the original film I'm referring to. Ginger Snaps. Well, I get why they said it then, due to it being a horror film. Looking at you, Canadian horror cinema. Donnie Darko, also set in October setting, and has like a 28-day period thing, like the latter film. Some have struggled to understand when I brought up the similarities with those films. Well, in my view, there are two of them, the teen angst elements and the 28-day period thing set in October in the stories. You see where I'm going with this, so I'm really hoping the audience is still staying with me, because I think I might have lost myself. Donnie Darko, the reason why I think is set in a sort of Halloweenish setting, well, it's one of those films that is multi-layered with a doomsday narrative device aspect. Okay. Not a question. It's the best way I can describe this film. I still don't get it fully, but I like it. Going back to The Crow, I'm not sure why that setting is used. Nothing against that. I have no clear explanation for it. So, well, it's the season favorite film set on Halloween. Oh, right. Favorite film set on Halloween. So it doesn't have to be a Halloween
Terrifier
film.
1.
Okay, that narrows it down, yeah.
Honestly, I'm just struggling to think. The Fog doesn't take place on.
No, it doesn't.
Obviously, Halloween takes place on Halloween.
Halloween takes place on Halloween. I'm just going to go with Halloween set on Halloween.
Sure, it's a great shout, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is the favourite. I wouldn't go with Black Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes when I I like to watch like episodes of TV shows that take place on Halloween, like the Buffy ones.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They have their Halloween specials almost every other season.
I love the Treehouse of Horrors.
Treehouse of Horrors for The Simpsons. So those are the types of things that I like to go and watch, like the specials. I always find those fun and creative and unique. But yeah, I'm really struggling to think of other films that take place during Halloween. I'm just struggling to recall them. So yeah, like that's why I just went Terrifier is the most recent one that take place at Halloween.
Is the Predator set at Halloween? Doesn't he go round in a Halloween costume pretending he's the Predator?
Oh, fuck that film. Like, I'm never watching Shane Black's Predator ever again.
It just came to my mind.
I'd rather get face fucked by an aardvark.
I'm confused. No, you go completely. How does one get face fucked by an aardvark?
I don't know, but that's what he says in the film.
Oh, right, okay.
That's the only line I remember from the film.
Does he use its... Oh, no, that's an anteater. Sorry, I was thinking anteater. Yeah.
Was that it for Facebook questions?
Yeah, that's it. Facebook questions.
Thank you for the question, Josh. Roundabout letters.
Okay, we came back. We got it. We got it.
Alrighty, so over to the questions here. Alrighty, first question here I have when it loads.
Loading.
Is from Rio Quinn.
What up, Rio Quinn?
Managed to make it through 40 minutes of Terrifier 3.
Holy shit.
Before I had to start fast forwarding through the abysmal acting to get to the gore.
Really?
If they removed the 7 minutes of fantastic gore, do you think anyone would like the Terrifier films? Keep up the good work. Cheers, David.
No. I personally think the only thing that saved Terrifier 1 was the gore. Nobody could tell me after Terrifier 1 what was so good about the story to make me want to watch it, so I didn't. And then Terrifier 2 dropped, and they were just kind of hoping that the gore was going to be more than the first one. They had a chance to put a really good story in the second one to keep the franchise going. They didn't do that. They just filled it with more gore. And then the third one came along, and it's exactly what people expected. Because by this point, it's too late to make a really good in-depth story, because people are going to want to see the gore, and the gore is not very good.
Yeah.
So I personally, I said this to Gary with the cameras off. Personally, I think Terrifier 3 has done well because people have gone to see it because there's nothing else in the cinema, and you'll find that most people who are watching Terrifier 3 now haven't actually watched Terrifier 1 and 2.
Maybe.
Same as why Romulus did well, because people hadn't seen the other Alien movies.
Yeah. I mean, I like Laura Levera. I think she's easy on the eye.
But she was only in number 2.
And 3.
But she wasn't in the first one.
No.
So
we're talking about 3. We're talking about Terrifier 3.
Okay.
And taking out the gore. So I'm like, well, I think she's still okay.
Okay.
And I also like Art the Clown. So, like Art the Clown is at least still more entertaining than Michael Myers. He's more entertaining than Jason Voorhees because he's got charisma and personality and he's funny. Like, granted, that's tonally different from Michael and Jason and what they're going for.
Yeah.
But I still think, like, if you take the gore out, you're going to be then on equivalent to, like, the Jason movies without the gore being shown.
Seeing your point there, counterpoint. Art the Clown versus Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, I love Freddy, like Robert Englund, because he speaks as well, and so. But that's it. Like, Art should never speak at this point in time. Art never utter a word.
But that's what I'm saying is that Art can only really go up to
Freddy calling everyone bitch is just brilliant.
Where Freddy's got more charisma.
Yes.
Better background.
Yeah.
And
but at the
more
same
and
time,
better deaths.
But they made him so goofy and stupid by like the 6th movie that they had to do New Nightmare.
They
did.
Well,
actually, no, that's worse. Let's do Freddy versus Jason and it's done.
But and once again, going back, Nightmare on Elm Street 1, 2, and 3 versus Terrifier 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, like, of
Which
course.
series would you watch?
I'm taking Nightmare, of course. Like, I mean, I'm old school in that regard.
But that's what I'm saying. Where after Nightmare 3, they start to go downhill. 4, 5, 6, and New Nightmare. So you're looking at Terrifier, how you're going to keep it up with 4, 5, and 6. If that's what you do.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see, yeah.
But yeah, I do think... like I said, answering the question, I like Art. I like watching him on screen.
Yeah.
I think he's really funny. So I don't know if I definitely don't think the films would have done anywhere close because it was the word of mouth of the gore and the shock value and the publicity of vomit bags and stuff that's like kept that hype machine going.
Yeah, but I've got a question to go back for real, Quinn, as well. Why did you watch Terrifier 3? Like, I only know people going and watching Terrifier 3 because they want to see this gore, and with all the information and with the internet that you've got leading before you hit play, you know exactly what you're getting. So as you said, you got 40 minutes into this movie before you had to fast forward it, but you knew full well going into Terrifier 3 that that's what you were getting. So
sometimes you got to give it a chance. Like, I mean...
Yeah,
like,
well,
credit to you to keep coming back.
Obviously, he did. He gave it 40 minutes, but there is nothing. The first one was an hour and a half. The second one was 2 hours. That's 3.5 hours of no story and mainly just gore.
Yeah. Well, I've never watched them that close to each other, so there's been years separating them.
I fucking watched them back to back, didn't I? Oh. So.
All right. Thank you for the question, Rio Quinn.
Yes.
Next question is from Double A.
What up, Double A?
Good afternoon, gents. Is The Burbs in your Halloween rotation? It is for me because it's a classic, Gary.
Yeah.
No,
Gary.
The Burbs isn't on my anything rotation. It's not on my Tom Hanks rotation. It's not on my Halloween rotation. It's just not on my film rotation, period, because the film sucks, Double A. No, it doesn't really suck. I just
take into account, guys. This is
personal.
also the same guy who didn't like The Princess Bride. So like you can say that I'm crazy what I do, but he didn't like The Princess Bride.
It just wasn't for me, man.
Who doesn't?
Wasn't for me.
Who doesn't like Princess Bride?
I don't.
Or The Burbs. Like The Burbs is amazing. I wouldn't say it's a good Halloween movie, but it is definitely.
I guess, like, because it's kind of got, like, that Goosebumps kind of vibe to it, like the haunted house down the road.
It has, but I see it more as just a late night Saturday night movie. That's the last time I remember properly watching it at home when I was a kid. It's flicking over on a Saturday night, and it's like 11 o'clock, and The Burbs has just started, and Corey Feldman is standing on his porch, inviting you in to say hi to all the neighbors, and you're like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Burbs is crying, Gary. But at the same time, he didn't like Harvey either. Like, what the fuck? Who doesn't like fucking Harvey? You know?
Why am I being picked on here? Because my film
Yeah, I watched Terrifier 3. Next question.
Cheers, double A.
Yeah, cheers, double A.
Next question is from Waffles Hannibal.
What up, Waffles?
Hey guys, how many years away are we from this channel being your full-time job? Or, if years is hard to guess, what percentage would you say you guys are at so far? Honestly, like, it was by choice, actually. Like, Ian and I have maintained working jobs whilst doing the channel, on and off, like, for me anyway. I was working full-time, then I was being subsidized by something called Universal Credits, which is where I tell the government how much money I've earned from YouTube, and then they go, here's enough money to get you by. We're happy that you're working. You're self-employed. We like this. But they also were getting upset that the channel wasn't growing quickly enough, so they were forcing me to go and find work because they were going to cut off my... well, they did. They cut off my funding. And so, in which case, then I went and got more part-time work to help subsidize, the channel and to stay afloat, essentially. Ian has also worked this entire time.
The entire time.
Like 7 days a week, and...
2 jobs, 12 years. Woo!
A few years ago, once, just before lockdown, and then when I started streaming, thank you to all of the wonderful, like... Anyone who is subscribed on YouTube, not just subscribed, but actively donates monthly on there through that subscription and through Twitch, you guys basically now give me the pocket money. So Ian and I split the money from the YouTube and the Patreon, enough for me to pay rent and buy food shopping. Then what's left gets split evenly between the two of us. And I take the Twitch money because I do 95% of the streams, barring the podcasts, of course, with Ian. So right now I'm doing this full time. I'm not even earning half the minimum wage doing it. Yeah. But I don't pay that much rent and I don't pay bills on top of that. So I'm able to live cheap in that regard. Yeah. But I would love to see the channel grow. I think, because Ian is married, and I'm talking for you, sorry, Ian's married, has children, has a house, has a ton of responsibilities, the channel would need to quadruple, I think, for us to be able to both live off it. So it's not viable, but it's creeping there.
It was obviously the original idea when we first started was to make enough money for the two of us to have money so that I didn't have to work, Gary didn't have to work, and we could concentrate on the channel full time. Now, back when we started, which was 12 years ago, that's what streaming and film reviewing and YouTube and all that looked like it was going to. So all we had to do was work our way into that market, build our audience, make our channel grow so that we could gain the support in. But over that time, I think it was the first 5 or 6 years of us doing this that you just watched a massive influx of streamers and reviewers trying to get out there and do that thing that obviously we're doing. Now, some of them have done well. Some of them have not done so well. Now, the ones that have done well, they have thrown a crap ton of money into it. And I had to be very careful when I first started because my wife was just like, well, it was girlfriend at the time when we were going to be married. It was just like, look, I need you to be careful with your income, with your wages. Please don't spend your money on frivolous things and stupid things because we need to keep the house going, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, okay, that's what I'll do. So I had to say that to Gary, okay, this is what I need to pay for. So most of our budget for off the shelf was 0 or less. And so we were just working with that. Now, as Gary said, we absolutely love all of the donations and all the support that we get through the channel, but we understand that we can only get so much from people because people have their own bills, and we love the fact that people are able to pay out for it. But I've also looked at it myself and gone,
yeah,
financially, this isn't.
I'd like to reinforce something I always like to reinforce when it
Yeah.
comes to like fans donating and sending stuff. Like, only subscribe, only donate, only Patreon, only do any of those things if you can. Don't please go out of your way to do it if it's gonna hurt you financially. Like, we understand the state of the world as it is today.
Yeah.
The times are hard. So yeah, please look after yourselves.
Now, we have looked at, if any of you are sitting there going, well, what about this idea? What about that idea? What about this idea? What about... We have looked at every single possible avenue and way to make more income with us. That's where the Halloween reviews came from. That's where the podcast reviews came from. That's where obviously the game streaming started off on the Friday and then moved over to Twitch. And obviously Gary's streaming on Twitch and stuff like that. But ultimately, when you look at it, I've been saying this for a number of years now. Bills have steadily just risen up. The price of what you're paying to just keep yourself alive has just risen up. That I've had to go to 7-day working to keep my bills afloat. And obviously Gary's had to do what he needs to do, keep his thing afloat. Now, sponsors and things like that. Yeah, we've had people come to us and say, hey, we would like to sponsor you. We need you to do this advert. And it's just so fake.
Yeah, we don't at the moment. I will say, I get an email every other week from random sponsors. Like, we had one from like a nut farm company that was like, we think like, and the thing is, like, the email I get from these companies is so generic. It's like, hey, off the shelf reviews, we really like your catalog of videos. They're very engaging.
Yeah.
But it's soulless. Those sponsor opening letters are so soulless and generic. I get one from different companies every other week, and they're the exact same structure. And I'm like, no,
And
we're not going to start advertising nuts on our channel. What, these nuts?
Because it wouldn't work in for us. Now, funny enough, years ago when we first started, I wanted to turn it into a big joke. I said to Gary, like, man, I would love to do like an advert joke at the beginning of the reviews, just make fun of advertising sponsors that people get as a joke. And Gary was like, no, I don't think that's
we're just doing skits.
We're just doing skits. Yeah. But I like the idea of a skit because I wanted the audience to be involved. That's why obviously I do my intro the way I do my intro. But the fact that nowadays, I think it's absolutely funny that people say, I don't like watching TV. I'm going on the internet to get away from adverts. And the first thing you get in your face is some shitty ass advert because you're not subscribed or because they've overpaid it. And you're looking at an advert for wine or insurance or something.
But yeah, that's like pre-roll adverts. But we're also talking about like just sponsors as well.
But
the
big time sponsors aren't going to sponsor you. The small time sponsors,
we're getting small time sponsors right now, but maybe it'll change. And
the small time sponsors want the advertising for them, not for you.
Yeah, we have been selective so far, and it's been a blank response from us to those potential sponsors because I think we both agreed a while back. I don't know if we still are on the same page. But if we got a sponsor that came in that promised like a good payout for us, and it was something that we wanted to endorse, we would seriously consider it. Yes,
we would have to work it around. We'd have to put it in front of the in front of the videos and going up. But then it's after making sure to monitor because it's like what we said earlier. It's not about the selling out. You know, I've always hated the idea of people going, oh, that person sold out. What? You're blaming that person for actually making some money off the idea that they've worked on for fucking 20 plus years to now that they can take that money to pay for their family, for all the support their family has given them for that 20 plus years and make sure that their idea worked? Yeah. You're going to moan at that?
Yeah.
Fuck you, you know? These people have to eat. But then part of me is also just like, look, if I have to clean toilets for the next 20 years for 7 days every year, and I get to come out of it and say, I still made this channel. It was still honest. It was still fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't an argument every 3 fucking minutes. You know, we didn't clash like the Beatles or rip each other apart like Metallica. We fucking, you know, we stuck to our own guns. And I would rather our audience. I mean, fingers crossed that they do. Knock on wood. I would. I would rather our audience not financially support us, but build us numberly wise, so people can say, "Wow, look at this! They've got a massive, huge fan base, and yet they're still scrimping and saving, rubbing 2 pennies together."
Yeah.
So that somebody goes, "You know what? Hey, those guys do really well. Here's £10,000. I don't need it. I'm so rich."
Yeah. I mean, I love the integrity that we've had for 12 years nearly, that we've never done sponsors, and we so very ever rarely say, please like and subscribe and leave a comment to support the algorithm. It
Obviously,
feels
we
so
want you to,
robotic
but
and
it just-
fake and annoying. And even though people have proven that saying it at the end of the video will drive up the subscriber count, I just can't bring myself to do it, because I hear it every day I'm on the platform, and I often am already closing a video down the moment somebody starts to regurgitate those lines of like, I don't know if we need to put that out in the ether any more than it already is out there.
Yeah.
So I like that. For me is our integrity in that regard.
Part of me is also, it's also, I'll be honest, I never had any money. So if I did get money now, still wouldn't have any. I'd still be the same. I would just give it away, because I'd be like, I don't know what to do with this. But like, Ian, you can buy all the crack and hookers and cocaine that you want. I'd be like, that's great. I don't want any of that.
Cheers, Neurovisor,
Yeah,
dude.
you know, just
We need more people like that.
yeah.
But no, then, please not at gunpoint. Like, we're going to get a bad reputation that way. We don't want to be known as the channel with toxic fans.
Oh, I don't know.
Just passionate fans.
Toxicity supposedly works. I mean, look at Aiden Ross. Maybe we should move to Rumble and kick. Fuck YouTube. Oh, burn the establishment.
Exactly, Richie. If somebody likes your content, they'll like and subscribe without you telling them to.
Yeah.
That's what I feel as well. So, yeah.
Adam Sandler wants to sponsor the channel with Happy Gilmore 2. Done.
Do it. Done.
Done. We need money.
I'll do it. Because it would be hilarious. For those in on the long time gag.
Next question.
Thank you. Excuse me. Waffles Animal. Great question.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, next question is from Neurovisor.
What up, Neuro?
Yay! You are now psycho killers. At
Okay.
gunpoint. You decide to kill Paul Allen. Of course we do. Got a business card that's way cooler than ours.
Yeah.
You have everything prepared. Papers on the floor, axe for the murdering, a raincoat to keep you dry, but you've yet to choose what album to monologue before you kill him. What album would you choose?
I saw this one earlier. Alanis Morissette, ironic.
That's the song. So you're choosing Jagged Little
No,
Pill?
Jagged Little Pill,
That's
yeah.
my response! Yeah, Jagged Little Pill. Brilliant.
You live chomp, you learn chomp, you lie chomp, you love chomp. You joker!
Brilliant.
Yeah, man.
Brilliant.
There you go. Alanis Morissette to kill too.
Hell yeah. Cheers, Neurovisor. Great what if question.
I wondered, I was thinking of all these different albums. For some reason, it just appeared, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's quite easy. Chill.
Jagged Little Pill is one of my all-time favourite albums.
easily chill
Just
to that.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Next question is from Richie Cornbread.
What up, Richie?
Morning, guys. What can I say apart from you were amazing again?
Thank you very much.
All right. Then can you pick one horror film each that was released before the 90s
Okay.
and recast them with modern actors? Example, Robert Pattinson or Zac Efron as MacReady and Michael B. Jordan or David Johnson as Childs.
Ooh.
Andy from Alien Romulus, example.
Yeah.
Great question, Richie. Yeah, but I mean, I always really struggle with these recasting ones. I usually need a lot of time to think about it. I'm sometimes not good with the spontaneous like thoughts that Ian has. Like Ian's already cooking.
I'm already cooking.
Ian's already
at the
cooked.
moment. I for some reason, my brain just immediately looked at Alien.
Okay, with
and
a modern cast.
And I was going to modernize the cast.
Okay.
And from there, I went to Life.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I can't modernize it, can I? Because we've already done it with Life. Sorry, I hit the microphone. But then immediately I was like, Rebecca Ferguson as a Ripley-style character.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so let's recast Alien, okay? So Rebecca Ferguson as Ripley. Brilliant. Love that.
I would go with maybe Kirsten Stewart as Lambert. Kristen Stewart.
Yeah, Kristen
Or somebody along that lines, because she was great in Underwater.
She was,
but I'm just trying to think of who would be a good Lambert character.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking of the actress from obviously The Substance, the one who plays the young Demi Moore.
Oh, what, playing Lambert?
Yeah, playing Lambert. Ooh, yeah. Because
nice.
like a strong actress who then like breaks psychologically during those moments. Yeah. I'm trying to think of recasting Dallas right now.
Dallas, I would go with.
It's got to be someone who has like who has a sense of authority, but of like like a natural leader vibe.
Tilda Swinton.
Okay, gender swap.
I might go with a gender swap and get Tilda Swinton
as the captain.
Kill her on the planet.
Interesting.
Okay, so you completely, like you said, she's a strong character. She's in charge. Boom, she's out of the fucking situation. She's dead, right?
Okay.
And so now you're like, oh, what the fuck do we do?
What about Parker?
Parker. See, I like the idea of not only gender swapping, but also race swapping. So maybe not having an African American as Parker. Possibly having a female African American actress playing Brett character. And maybe the guy who played Shang-Chi playing Parker. The two of them are like real roughneck engine kind of. They don't actually come out the engine room. That's where they go down. And so when the alien is going down there chasing them, they know more about the engine room stuff than the alien does. They're able to lock it off in certain areas. Yeah.
Chat's got some good responses here. The main girl from Evil Dead Rise is Lambert. The one who turns into the Deadite.
Yeah.
Because
she's the mum?
The mum, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or the girl, the chainsaw survivor. Good. I think she would be actually good. Like both of those actresses in the role.
See, Aubrey Plaza is Lambert. See, Lambert's more emotional. Aubrey Plaza I haven't seen be emotional a lot. She's really dry.
Yeah.
Witted. Dallas is Harvey Keitel. Dallas
Robert
is
Downey
old.
Jr. is Dallas.
Ooh,
now that I like because because Iron Man has been a good like a good character and like popular character in cinema. Like Robert Downey, like you saw the cheer when Robert Downey Jr. took that mask off. People love him. So having him as Dallas, like I like because he feels approachable. He feels nurturing, especially the way he fathered Peter Parker in there as well. So I think he would be a good Dallas. That's if we're not going with the Tilda Swinton thing. I think that's a good shout.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is pretty good.
Harvey Keitel's pretty good, but I think he can be a bit like a grump, like a bit like too unapproachable. I mean, I love him in Thelma and Louise, like that kind of one. Yeah. But, Idris Elba would be a great Parker, but I think Idris Elba's too strong.
No,
too strong.
Covenant.
Oh, he's already in Covenant.
So
he already did it.
He's a pilot in Covenant.
No, was he? No, he was in. Was it Prometheus?
Prometheus. Sorry.
Prometheus. So he's already been there.
Yeah, he's been in there.
Yeah. What about Ash, the robot?
Yeah. Well, we got to do Ash.
Sam Rockwell.
Nice.
I can't put him in everything.
Okay. But,
Okay,
but Kane.
Kane. Okay. Yeah.
See, Sam Rockwell as Kane, I think, would be good because once he dies,
it's just like Guy from.
Yeah, you'd feel really bad.
Yeah.
But can he be unemotional like Ash?
Yeah.
But then who would we have?
I was going to say Jeffrey Combs. But he's just way too like slapsticking over the top. Like he would be fun to watch in the role, but no.
Oh yeah, as Kane.
The ghoul from Fallout. What's his face?
Walton Goggins.
Walton Goggins. Yeah. I don't know, because he's kind of got a creepy look to him.
Man, Walton Goggins and Sam Rockwell as Parker and Brett. The two of them as the engine crew.
Yeah,
man, that would be so good.
Yeah.
You know who would be really good as well, maybe as a Lambert character or as a Ripley style character, is Ethan Hawke's daughter.
Yes, she's actually really good.
She's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we got some good players there.
Yeah,
now we want to remake Alien. It's sacrilegious.
Let's fucking make it. Remake it. We'll fucking remake Alien, turn it into Alien Romulus 2, and fucking make it better. No black goo shit.
Get that black goo shit out of my
Get that black goo shit out of my face.
Cheers for the question, Richie.
Yeah.
Next question is from Dude.
Dude!
Do you prefer horror movies or any movies really that are based on true events, as the saying goes? Or do you prefer them to be completely fictional? Or does it not matter either way? Do you have different expectations for movies that claim to be based on true events? It got, I think it was like 20 years ago, maybe, so 2004-ish, when like the based on a true story tagline on a movie was instantly dismissed as bullshit. Like, it's just a tag to attach to the movie to go, this is actually real. I'm like, everyone in the movie died. How was that a real story? Did they actually have that conversation?
Yeah.
Who was there? Like, so yeah, like for me, that lost all meaning. I can't remember how many films that happened in, or I was like, I'm done with that tagline. But like you still get to like, you know, the false based on true stories like Blair Witch.
Yeah.
You know? And then you get the famous ones like Amityville Horror. But then you get decades and decades of people debunking the stories and the lies and the conspiracies around it.
Yeah.
So I actually still get a little bit excited when I watch a film that says based on true events. And I think it was something like, I think it was what's his face? Michael Bay's like No Pain No Gain. Was it that one with The Rock?
Oh, with The Rock and Mark Wahlberg? Yeah.
Where, like, it kept popping up on screen going, yes, this actually happened in real life. And it kept reminding you throughout the film, like, because you forget, like, the film said based on a true story at the beginning.
Yeah.
And when it keeps reminding you going, this actually happened, you're like, oh, fuck, really? Like, I actually thought that was really quite funny to do that. So, yeah, praise to Michael Bay for that one. But I actually do like watching a film when it says based on a true story, where I can then go, okay, film, give me, I now internally go, give me your interpretation of it then. And then if I liked it, I will go and watch documentaries or read like the, you know, firsthand testimonies or accounts of what transpired. So I actually like it as a reminder to go, something happened that inspired this story.
Yeah.
And then I like to go back and see what it was. So it doesn't affect my enjoyment of the film or anything, but when I see it, it gives me it means I've got somewhere to go after the film to go and see what really happened and how close the film was to it.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. Yeah.
I'm kind of the same. When I was younger, I love horror, but when I was younger, if I saw a film come up saying based on a real life event, I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking terrifying. You know, how is this real? And then as you get older and you start looking into it, you go, oh, it's loosely based on real life events. Like Psycho, it's not based on real life Ed Gein. It's
inspired by,
it's inspired. Same with Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
You know, Nightmare on Elm Street, it's loosely based on real life sleep deaths. Friday the 13th, loosely based on killers at camps. You know, or when you really look into the back of some of the horror movies that came out through the 70s to the 90s in America, a lot of it is just inspired by people who'd gone missing, you know, areas. You look at Wrong Turn. Wrong Turn is an absolute stupid bunch of movies, but I bet a lot of people have accidentally had their tires burst on a fucking back road and have been eaten by some redneck family.
Yeah.
Things like Zodiac.
Fincher's,
Woman of the Hour. You know, like even so far as I would say like they're stupid, but The Conjuring and the movies with that
like
man
that's
and
the
woman.
most farcical one.
Those are the ones that really get me.
I still
because
like them.
people go, oh yeah, did you watch that movie about
Annabelle's real?
Annabelle's real. I'm like, no, it's not. That's why you can go and visit it in a fucking museum, because it doesn't kill people. But fucking Child's Play was kind of inspired by the theory of a doll that could kill people. Or what was that little box movie about the Jewish demon that some guy supposedly bought one for his daughter from a car boot sale and she opened it. Yeah, and there was a whole movie based on it about this boxing. It happens a lot. For me personally, when I see things nowadays when it says based on events, I'm wikiing it while I'm watching it.
I'm like, that's marketing.
Yeah. I did it, like I said, I did it with Woman of the Hour. And I was like, wow, this has impressed me more that Anna Kendrick was brave enough to take on this and direct it herself.
Yeah, yeah.
But then when I read up on the horror of that guy, of what the serial killer did, if you haven't seen Woman of the Hour, I suggest going and seeing it. When I was reading that, I'm like, why do people like Art the Clown and go, oh, I like seeing him kill people, when there are real people like this going out there killing people realistically in real ways with this shit? You wouldn't read this shit. You wouldn't read these horrible
That's
stories.
because we have the safety of the escapism of horror movies to...
But then why do people rush to watch movies where a guy is basically doing the same thing? They laugh and joke.
Why
and
do
pay
people slow down when they pass, roadside accidents? Like, it's the morbid curiosity, bit of human nature, really.
But that's it. I'm just like, look, as you get older, you start to look at horror and blood and guts in a certain way. And on one hand, you go, yeah, I enjoy watching blood and guts, and people think I'm a bit of a freak. Or, no, I don't like blood and guts much anymore because it kind of gives me night.
Sure, yeah.
And if it says based on real life stories, you're like, I'm not watching it. Because it could be there, it could be right there.
Yeah. But that being said, I do also really like films that go out of their way for historical accuracy.
Yes.
And I don't mind sometimes, like Chernobyl's been mentioned in the chat.
Yeah.
I don't mind that they went, here was 500 people that all scientists and medics and stuff that were working on it.
Yeah.
And then the TV series goes, here's one character.
Yeah.
That represents the entirety of
thing.
all those people. So it does a little injustice to all the people that worked there. But at least it's characterized in one person. So for entertainment purposes, I understand those choices that are made. So it's forgivable in that sense.
Do you know they made a porn version of that as well? It's called Chernobyl.
On that note,
next
it is
question.
podcast 69.
It is.
We've got to filth it up a little
We
bit.
haven't had one filthy comment in this whole thing.
Right? Well, we got one more question.
Yes.
And that's from Master of Reality.
What up, Master of Reality?
What do you think of Taxi Driver in a few words?
Are you talking to me? I'm guessing you're talking to me. I don't see anybody else here other than Gary.
And I'm not talking to you.
You must be talking to me. I really like Taxi Driver. The first time I ever watched Taxi Driver, I was actually really surprised that the ending is kind of like what Joker has. And it's where it's like, throughout the movie, you think he's a bad guy. Even as I sat down to watch Taxi Driver the first time, I'm like, he's a bad guy. He looks like a bad guy. He looks like a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's ready to just snap at any point. And then he starts to save people at the end. He literally almost dies, trying to stop bad guys.
Yeah.
Harvey Keitel is great. I love the cinematography of the streets. I mean, it's Martin Scorsese.
It is, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. I would watch Taxi Driver and Bringing Out the Dead back to back.
Out the Dead
Fucking
so much.
love it. Make TB sheets, told you.
Yeah.
Give me that glass of water. The soundtrack's fucking amazing.
It is, yeah. It's hard. And yeah, I don't like. I don't dislike Taxi Driver. And maybe I'd like maybe need to get my film card punched or something because I've only ever watched it once.
Me too.
And
But it stuck with me.
It did. It I can still see the imagery of the poster. I think is what stuck with me the most.
Yeah.
And of course, the you talking to me scene. I've seen that maybe 20 times. Some of the sequences towards the end as well.
What's her name?
What's she called?
Jodie
Foster.
Jodie Foster.
Yeah, Jodie Foster is a young
amazing.
prostitute character. But I would say the film, in a few words, is raw, powerful, intense, shocking, and I want to say almost unsatisfying.
Ooh.
The film by the end, I don't know, I was mixed emotions by the end of the film, but I wouldn't say I was wholly satisfied with the entire film. But I'm going back 20 years. It's been a long time since I've seen it, and it didn't strike a chord with me then. Maybe I think you mentioning it is a film I do now. Alarm bells are going off in my head. Gary, you probably should go and rewatch this film. Maybe tag team it in with Raging Bull as another one that I've only ever watched once. I appreciate them. I love I love like the trajectory of Scorsese and De Niro's careers. But they're not films that I go back to. I've never gone back to.
I would if it was me. First off, yes, you should go back and rewatch it.
I admit,
I think it's been a bit long, but we've been busy. We've been doing other films and stuff like that. I wouldn't rush to tag team them with Raging Bull because I think they are two totally different movies.
Sure.
Raging Bull is, it's like a biopic.
Yeah.
And it's beautifully filmed, beautifully shown, but it's De Niro under a load of makeup.
Yeah.
If I was going to get another movie for you to watch along with Taxi Driver, and I might suggest you watch it before Taxi Driver to get yourself in the mood for it. And it's a question as well. Is it Master of Reality? And a question out from Master of Reality as well. Dog Day Afternoon with Al Pacino.
Yeah.
I think you should totally watch that back to back with Taxi Driver.
Is that the American football one?
No, it's the one where he goes to rob a bank.
Right. Yeah.
And it's done before he did Scarface and Godfather.
Okay.
And Master of Reality. Which would you say is better, Taxi Driver or Dog Day Afternoon? And if you haven't seen Dog Day Afternoon, I seriously suggest you do it.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that movie. That would be an excellent double bill. Yes.
Cool.
You should totally go and watch them. Yes.
Oh dear. Well, that was the last question.
The last question.
Just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who submitted questions today.
Thank you very much.
Absolute corkers. Really enjoyed those questions.
I did see a question earlier. It didn't come up on the question list, but I would like to answer it very, very quickly.
Sure.
It was a question that popped up saying, Ian, why do you wiki your movies and you don't check IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes? And the answer is simply because on Wiki, people actually do write the plot. And they go into an in-depth kind of detail of the plot. And it's much like reading maybe a first draft script or a first draft story.
But that's why I prefer IMDb, because I prefer IMDb. Will you please give me the synopsis? And it's right at the top.
Yeah, but it's only a couple of lines.
But that's all I want. I don't want plot details.
I want the plot details, and it might sound crazy, but it's because I want to spoil it for myself before I try and hide, and the internet spoils it for me. Years and years and years and years, the world is just full of spoilers.
Right.
We knew who fucking Darth Vader was before we even watched the film. We knew what the creature was in Jaws before we'd even seen it. We knew who died at the end of Endgame and fucking Force Awakens before those films had even gotten to the UK.
Well, I mean, the internet did, but I didn't.
Yeah, but the internet didn't do it on its own.
Somebody put it there. Somebody stayed away from it.
Somebody put it there, and it went up there. And so I'm like, well, fuck you, I'm going to do it myself. Mm-hmm. And I do it myself, and then I keep it to myself, and then I speak to people, and they go, "Have you seen it?" And I go, "I haven't watched it, but I know what we. I
know everything that happens in it.
I know everything that happens, so we can talk about it, and you don't have to feel upset if you go to spoil it.
Yeah, we get to have a conversation with you despite you not seeing it.
I'm gonna watch it 20 times anyway. Before I even got a chance to watch movies like Taxi Driver and Devil's Advocate and this movie and that movie, I was reading quick synopses of it and spoiling it for myself to give myself that little bit of info to go, ooh, do I really want to watch it?
Yeah. I mean, I'd sometimes just go by word of mouth. If something's riding high or being popular or has an actress or an actor in it or something, I'll go in blind as much as I can. I always prefer to go in blind, but I do appreciate a tiny little synopsis to just like if I know nothing about it, a little synopsis just so I just know whether it's going to appeal to my, like, what entertains me or not, like, and what mood I'm in, if that's the thing I want.
Yeah.
So I need just a little synopsis to get me going.
But weirdly enough, I'm the opposite. If the hype is strong with something, I'll avoid it because I'm like, no. Everybody's going on about how great this thing is. It's not even hit the shelves yet. Yeah. That makes me worried. That makes me
like
feel
you said, it is like reading the back of the VHS, which we did, like walking around Blockbusters or video rental stores. Like that's what we did until we decided on one,
and that's what we still do now. People, I think, because we don't have that nowadays. Yeah, people are running in blindly too much into their movies. Oh, everybody's watching this movie. Well, I have to go and watch it because they're all watching it. No, that's not your personal feelings. Mm-hmm. That's
jumping on the bandwagon.
That's jumping in on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
What is it about the film that's actually making you want to watch it? Mm-hmm. If there's nothing and it's just a bandwagon, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to enjoy it.
Yeah. All right. Nice one ending.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And that will be the end of podcast 69.
69!
We'll be back soon with podcast 70.
Yes.
We've already got a date set, not in stone, but...
Yes. Well, it won't be in November.
Okay.
There won't be a November's podcast because technically this one's going up at the end of October, and by the time it gets dropped out, it will be into November. But we are aiming for our traditional Christmas December podcast.
Yes.
Sometime in December. We have a date. It could be gone. It could be wrong, but we will keep you posted.
Hell yeah. And I believe it will be Andy, Ian, and myself.
Yes.
And we're probably going to have a little bit of booze to see us through.
Just a little bit. Oh, we might have to set the drink thingy on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drink? Yeah.
Oh, we could set it to Christmas donations. £1.50 a shot?
I don't know.
How much rum do you think you get through, Gary?
I could probably get through a lot. But I want to see Christmas.
Ooh, we could be out there.
Everyone, thank you for tuning in and listening to podcast 69. Hopefully you enjoyed our Halloween film reviews. Obviously, one more to go, going out on Thursday.
Yes.
And we'll see you for the next podcast in December. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.